We are live. Welcome back to BRAP, everyone. Let me just say something. Big shout out to everyone who joined us this past Saturday. We had Digital Foundry Zone, John Linneman on. What a great show, guys. That was really awesome. Big thank you. Big shout out to John as well for coming on. Was fire. Thank you, man. We had about over 5,000 views on that show. So big shout out to everyone that watched the show and left comments, new subscribers. Seriously, it means a lot to us. Thank you very much. We are working on some additional guests. Actually, we're going to have another YouTube influencer who's very tech focused. He is. We're in conversations of having coming on the show next month. I know Optimus. You got a buddy I think's agreed to come on, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. He worked for NVIDIA. I mean, he worked directly under Phil Spencer at Microsoft. He left there and he was like a senior VP of something. He had worked his way up. Then he went to NVIDIA. He was working there for a while. Then he retired last year to just spend all his money. He's definitely going to come on, but he's dealing with something. He's out in Seattle where the pandemic sort of hit in the U.S., so he's dealing with some stuff.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
But as soon as he's ready, he definitely said that he'll be on, but he just needs to clear up some stuff in his personal life first.
No, I completely understand, man. Completely understand. So definitely looking forward to that. Big shout out to everyone in the live chat. What's up, everyone? We have a great show for you guys. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to be talking about Naughty Dog, The Last of Us 2 leak, huge PlayStation 5 and Xbox news. Code, I don't know if you got the chance to read that DM, that message I sent you DM, Phil Spencer's tweet. Did you see that?
I did not. I'm going to do it right now.
Yeah, go check that out because I wanted to get I want to talk to you about that because we're around that time of gaming. I think Forte probably was too. I know you definitely were, Code. You started gaming in 1965.
Good one.
You know, it's all love, Code. It's all love.
He's like, hey, I ain't mad. I keep telling y'all, shoot, you should love old people because you want to be one day.
I'm trying to be put out of my misery as soon as I can, man. I don't know.
Oh, wow. By the way, Gregor Von Doom says, Luca up past her bedtime.
I know. Don't be surprised if I fall asleep during this too, Gregor.
Oh, that's actually Forte. He fell asleep on our show one time.
No, it's like a running joke on Scumcast. I disappear in the middle of the show and don't come back till the end. So.
Oh yeah, I actually have seen you do that. I'm like, where's Luca? She's not even talking. Like everyone else is talking, and then you'll be like, hey, like 45 minutes later.
I know. Love to see it.
Oh my God, it's too funny. Well, that being said, we have a very special guest, first time guest. I gotta say something, Kid Smooth. I love some of the videos that you put out with when you've beaten games. I think what's the one that you fell over the bed? Was that Bloodborne? Bloodborne. Yes, dude. I love the enthusiasm. We're happy dude. We're super excited to have you on the show, man. Welcome to BRAP.
Oh, thank you for having me. I enjoyed your episode last week with John Linneman.
Yep.
Yeah, it was dope. So I was trying. It took me like 15 minutes to find a channel because I was typing in BRAP in YouTube and it would show up. So, but yeah, no, it was dope show. I didn't realize a lot of people that's here like Optimus and Gaming Forte. That's where everybody came from, and I know of you, but I didn't really put it all together. So,
but no doubt, man. Well, look, man, we're excited to have you on the show, man, and get your thoughts on the Last of Us stuff because I know you've been talking about that a lot on Twitter. So definitely very interested to hear your opinions on that. And we have another returning guest, the Ashen Luca. Luca, what is going on?
Hi, not much. Just living my best life, enjoying the good times on Twitter as per usual. Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure, Luca. Always a pleasure. And by the way, if you guys don't know, Luca did a wonderful job moderating the PC Master Race debate versus console debate.
He did.
And PC won, as PC always win. I think.
Actually, console won. Shout out to Optimus, but No,
I think
appreciate you, Luca.
I think our guest Kid Smooth would also agree with me that PC is the best place to play, right, Kid?
So you're asking the wrong kid.
All right, maybe not then. I think Slow-Mo Backslap would agree with that, right, Slow-Mo?
Oh, absolutely.
Woo!
Absolutely, it's PC.
My man.
Yeah, he's.
I mean, you gotta
PC
spend the money.
fanboy.
I mean,
PC
you gotta
fanboy.
spend the money, but
PC Master Race.
it is what it is.
PC
So
Master Race over here.
What you
PC,
win, you win, huh?
PC enthusiast slow-mo backslap.
Man, whatever. I'm gonna have Luca on our side fairly soon.
Look at that.
You're gonna see a completely different turn in Luca's personality when she finally plays.
Watch me
Destiny
talking
on
shit about
PC.
consoles. You already know.
Yep.
Oh,
As
my
soon as she
goodness.
experienced Destiny or over 120 frames per second, it's over.
How beautiful is that slow?
You know what? You know what'll bring me back?
Chef's
Cheating
kiss.
Cheating on PC. That's what will bring me back.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
that might actually, yeah.
Let me tell you something. I was playing Warzone with the Mooch and Saltiest Gaming, and there was some PC cheating going on, for sure.
Oh, you saw it, you experienced it yourself.
Yeah, like we were getting shot through walls, like sniped from across the map.
Man,
I
I
heard
keep
about-
trying
yeah.
to tell y'all, all PC games don't cheat. Shut up. Nobody care about them indie games. All the AAA games, they don't guarantee it. Man, please. And I know because I used to be one of them, man. It was like, there is no way I'm going to let somebody one-up me. I had my hex editors out. I'm trying to modify client code.
Oh, no.
Doing
Code.
everything
Oh,
I can.
Jesus.
Oh, my God.
You are a cheater. And on that note, welcome back,
It's
Optimus
almost like
Code.
I'm offended.
Hey,
Slow-mo, what's up, man? Hey,
What's up, man? How's it
Slow-mo.
going?
Man,
Yo.
all jokes aside, shout out to the family, man. Tell your wife we appreciate all that she does.
yes.
Oh, we'll do. I'll let her know after she finishes showing me out for how the house looks after she was at work. Yeah.
Okay.
You done fell off the wagon, huh?
Yeah, you did.
I mean, look, man, like trying to do work while trying to manage these kids
Try to
while
do
they
work.
also got school.
That
Man, look, how the
That ain't
house
no
looks
excuse. That
is
ain't no
way,
excuse.
that's way down the list. That's like at number 11 of the things I'm concerned about. So I'll take that, but thank you, Code. I'll let her know exactly how much you guys appreciate the hard
No,
work
seriously,
and the
man.
sacrifice she's putting in.
Man.
Maybe that
Can
might
we borrow
actually.
her? Can we borrow her down here so when people show up and they're like, how they ask, have you been out of the country? Have you been to the beach? Take your ass back home.
EJ, they told me you was gonna be late to the show because you was at the beach.
I don't go now. No, I'm not going to the beach, baby.
Well, even though we're
Not-
out here
not
in the
this week.
DC area,
Ain't going this week.
even though we're out here in the DC area, they still have to ask those questions because people go to different places. People do stupid stuff like go to Miami and then be at the beach, then come back to DC, bringing every Rona that you can think of, and as well as some
And
other
not Corona,
various things.
the beer.
right. So it's just
No, I'm 10 minutes from it. I ain't going nowhere near it. Believe it.
So EJ, man, are those pictures real? Do they really be out there like that, or was that just a one-time thing and they
They're
recirculating it?
still out there. They got house
This
parties.
still out. I mean, like I said, I have not been down there, but I would imagine people are still going down there, hanging out and stuff. But I guarantee it's probably a lot more when they first opened it because everybody had been home or whatever. And I'm like, either way, you stupid.
Right.
You
Boy, you
ain't-
stupid
You
facts.
ain't see that video of the house party in
I saw that. I saw that.
100 people in each room.
Yep, everyone's all
Oh,
crammed
no.
up. I'm like, some
Remember
people
I
were
sent you
wearing
guys-
masks.
I sent you guys the link. What was that? A few weeks ago, like when they first did the lockdown, and people were out on 95, blocking
Oh, yeah,
down 95,
95.
partying and everything.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
cousin told me she said that's freeway's affected now. I'm not going that way no more.
Nah. Mm-mm. I'm close to that section 95 too. I wear my mask outside
Well, man,
just to go get the paper,
man, those people in the air gonna be polluted in a second down there with all those people.
bro.
Shoot, man, niggas better be careful wearing these masks or they be done got shot.
Nah, man,
my
it's the
God.
first time in
Look,
life.
man.
that the black
Code
man
talking about
walk
wearing the
in
wrong
store with a
colors.
mask on.
Look, man, people look at you funny if you ain't wearing a mask in certain
Right.
areas now.
Yeah,
Like, you
no,
ain't
they.
wearing no mask. Get the
What?
fuck
Hey,
away.
Optimus, what other time in history as a black man could you walk into a convenience store wearing a mask
Oh my God!
Man,
and have no
Not
issue?
like this.
They're like, hey, you
You
got your mask
wild,
on
dude.
here, dog.
I walked in.
No mask, you gotta go
I
before
ain't
you
gonna
get
lie,
shot.
bro. I walked in the grocery store, like, cause they just in Michigan, it's mandatory at this point now, and they said, hey, if you go in the grocery store, they can refuse you service. I walked in there and I was like, man, I was already all kind of weird about it. I was like, man, I ain't gonna walk in here with no damn mask on, man. As I'm walking around this place with a mask on, I'm like, man, they gonna fucking come get me and shit. This shit feels weird as fuck. You ain't used to just walking around establishments like that as an African American with your face covered up.
Right. Did you
And
steal
I was fully covered up. I stole some. Actually, you know what? My kid stole some shit.
Wow.
She tried to, at least.
Your kid tried to what?
Ninja suit.
No, she was carrying a bunch of like
The way
bags
she's
of.
never gonna go to you for a partner in crime. Like, come on, man. She was carrying a bunch of bags of chips in her hand because she was getting stuff for her and stuff for her sister, and she had grabbed some a Kit Kat, and she was just walking around. She didn't get one of those little hand buggies that you could just hold in your hand to put it in. So she was holding the chips in her hand, and as she was getting ready to put the stuff up, the lady was like, "Can you hand me the what's in that you put in your pocket too?" Because she put the Kit Kat in her pocket before she put it on the counter. Now I saw her doing it, but the lady called her out on it before she got a chance to put it on the counter. And she was like, "Look, lady," and anybody that's been in a party while my 8-year-old's been in the room with me, she's very, very opinionated. She looked at that lady and was like, "Look, lady, I was gonna put it on the dang counter, but now that you want to call me out in front of my dad, you suck." I was like,
"What?
8 years old?"
No, Luca can she can testify to this one, bro. She say some of the craziest stuff to people, man. She's like, "Look, lady, now that you want to call me out in front of my dad, you suck."
And you as a father is like, don't talk to strangers.
I did as we walked out, and I was trying not to laugh as I was saying it. Terrible parent, man. Terrible parent right there.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's move on from parenting skills to the first topic of the evening.
This might have something to do with parenting skills, honestly.
It actually might.
Everybody here, a lot of people in here are teachers right now. Homeschool.
I know, right? Yeah.
Everybody in here is a teacher except for Luca.
Yeah.
Well,
I was yelling at my daughter like Joe Clark today.
Yo, my wife almost whooped that. My wife almost killed me about it. She's like, "Don't you be sitting up here, Chester. Don't be trying to undermine what I say to." I was like, "Whoa, hold up. I'm good guy, good cop, bad cop." She's like, "No, not in this instance right now.
Nope.
These kids get on my goddamn nerves. Need to go back to school."
Any day now, I'm gonna yell at her to sing the school song.
Yeah, he's wild, man. You smoke crack, don't you?
You smoke crack, don't you?
Sing it on demand.
Yeah, sing it.
Hey, so a couple of buddies of mine, well, not a couple, like one good friend of mine, we was talking about the homeschooling aspect, and he was like, "Just so we clear, this is not what homeschooling is, because homeschooling has a lot of activities where you get the kids out of the house and planning trips with the community and stuff. Like, this is not homeschooling.
No, this is surviving until things get figured out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah. Speaking of surviving, so all of us know this is this broke. Was it Sunday? I forget what day it was. All the days are starting to fucking blend together now.
Oh, please tell me what are we about to talk about?
Oh, we're gonna talk about the Naughty Dog leak there, Forte. How a disgruntled employee leaked the whole game. Allegedly, a disgruntled employee leaked the whole game for not being paid. But there's a lot of interesting takes that I've been seeing about the leaks. Now, guys, let's not. I know some of us have seen the leaks. I think Optimus Code has seen everything. I did see one leak, but someone in the live chat's already asked, "Are you guys going to spoil?" Let's try not to spoil things. Let's be respectful.
Well, just
of
don't
everyone.
let Slow-Mo talk on it because he will.
You got a comment for that, Slow-Mo?
I think he's on mute.
Oh,
he's on mute.
He's getting yelled at right now. I come home. This house is a mess.
This house a mess.
Yeah. He's like,
it ain't never like this when I'm sitting at home, and now when I go back to work, you sitting at home and it look like crap, and you want me to cook and clean for you?
Oh, it's going down.
And you want some loving later on? No. All right.
Look, you gonna help your son out?
You know what? I truly believe that my children can handle their romantic relationships without me. I raised them a certain way. How they act after I raise them, I don't know. Not up to me.
By the way, Gregor Von Doom says spoil Heavy Ray in the chat. That's actually directed at Optimus Code.
Wow. Here we go, man. Ain't no
finished that game yet?
No, Code hasn't finished. Code's still playing the original Zelda.
explained it or something?
No, man, I just got a lot of responsibilities.
Yeah. All right, guys. Let's get
Code
to the.
has just discovered what the original Halo Combat Evolved was.
Wow. Here we go. Yeah. All right, guys. So the Naughty Dog League. So a lot of interesting things. So I've seen some comments about the appearance of this game maybe having a political take to it, maybe highlighting or I don't know, maybe not painting Christianity in the best light. But I will say this: the cult group that's in Naughty Dog, and this was actually revealed prior to any of the leaks. There's actually a wiki page for The Last of Us 2. You can actually go there. You can see some of the information that's been posted prior to this leak. So what I'm saying isn't anything that's not really known anyway. But this particular cult, they're called the Sephirites. They're actually agnostic, so they don't have a religious belief per se. They are just a cult. And my understanding is the men have shaved heads. The women wear their hair like in a bun or something. They basically, I think they hang people, torture them or something like that. So that's kind of the quick synopsis, if you will, of that cult and what people are. And I don't know where the Christianity thing came from. I'm not sure about that. But I've seen some very interesting takes with this coupled with what we already know about the crunch culture at Naughty Dog, which we'll talk about in a little bit too. But I want to go to Kid Smooth. Because Kid, you I think were very vocal about this on Twitter earlier today, and that's why I wanted you to come on the show. Just got to get your take, get your thoughts about or maybe explain to people kind of what your thoughts were about some of the leaks, and without getting into the leaks.
Yeah, I mean, it's more so like the rumors in combination with the leaks. It was more so like how it's being touted as it's the plot being, and then this happened before the leaks came. Just this article, I just didn't pay any mind until other things started opening up about it. But that the plot's about homophobic Christian cult, right? And I was taken back by it because there's a lot of things in in the industry, whether it be music, gaming, movies, and stuff like that, different agendas. And I feel like almost everything is like poisoned with different agendas. And I think video games is more so is it an escape. And I feel like I find it less there. It's there, but it's not so blatant. Like there's ways around it. They introduce it to the point where it's not, you have to really you have to dig for it. So whereas now, and I was like, all right, this is really getting annoying. Like, why are they bringing why is Christians being targeted in this? And of course, it makes sense with the whole homosexuality bullshit and the way people look at Christians as being homophobic and stuff like that. So personally, it started to mess with me, and I was like, well, if this is all true, I don't really think I can support the game like I want to, and that bothers me. So I was like, if they're really going out this way, and I know the type of person Neil Druckmann is, I know there's different publishers and game developers out there that they really want to get their messages across, and they put it in the video games, and Neil Druckmann is one of them. And I was like, if they're really going to go this haywire, with not only with the whole I hope I'm not spoiling it. They're saying there's like a trans character in a game, and there's obviously we know about Ellie's sexuality and the girl with the big nose sexuality and all that stuff, and then you couple that with the people you're going to be fighting against. They're Christians, they're homophobic Christians. So that was just my beef with it. Is more so it's like, why does it have to be Christians? Why can't it just be a cult? Like, why got to be targeting a particular group, a real group, a real belief that exists? I feel like when you have a game like The Last of Us, you have a developer like Naughty Dog, you have a publisher like Sony, you got major influence, you have popularity. I think it's going to send a wrong message, and it's going to make some of us very, very uncomfortable, even though some of those who would like to play the game. And I feel like I'm going to say something because I know many people won't, because they would be afraid of what people might say based on their beliefs. And I was a little hesitant about saying anything because I was like, all right, people are going to come at me a certain way. And then after 10 minutes, I was like, I really don't care at that point. Because I was like,
right on, brother.
Yeah. I was like, I really don't care about what people come. So I'm going to just say it. And then hopefully I'll spark someone to say, yeah, I was feeling that way too. And it did. Some people said they felt a certain way about it. But that's assuming if this case is true, if they're really like, okay, this is a Christian group and they're going to be referencing the Christian faith and the game wants to present Christians as homophobic individuals or a homophobic faith, and the main basis of the game is your homosexuals like beating down the bad guys that are unfortunately are Christians. It just doesn't vibe right with me personally. And I felt like if a game delivered in that way, yeah, it's going to be gorgeous, good looking game. Gameplay is going to be awesome. Story is going to be great, but I feel like it's going to be a bittersweet moment for me because I want the urge to play it, but I think if it's going to challenge me personally, my morals, I can't mess with it. There's games I don't play right now because I don't really care for. I don't want to dull and get myself involved in the message or the setting in certain games. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that was my take, and I made I sent out a tweet, and I was putting fillers out there. And this is not my first tweet, like hedging how I feel about things being put in games. I made a comment on like Goat Simulator some months back. I made comments on Life is Strange. I made comments on there was quite a few games I made comments on. No, obviously nobody really gave a crap because it probably was a multi-plat or a smaller game that nobody really cared about.
Did you feel the same about Far Cry 5?
Far Cry 5, I'm gonna say no and no for a couple of reasons. Far Cry 5, where I was mentally at Far Cry 5, where in terms of like with my faith, like differently, I was in a different place. And two, I never even gotten that deep into Far Cry 5 to care. Like, so, and I think what I was reading about The Last of Us versus what Far Cry was, I don't think they're very comparable. Like when I think about Far Cry 5, it's like what I immediately saw from my trailer, I thought of Jim Jones, that crazy ass dude. If you guys know who Jim Jones is, yeah, that was the vibe I was getting. Like I even though there was articles and everything put out there, like, oh, this is like making fun of Christians. Oh, this is that. I thought it was like making fun of Hicks, hillbillies, but I got the Jim Jones vibe of it. But I was interested in the game, but I probably got maybe 6 hours into the game. I dropped it. I didn't really care. So I didn't even get deep enough to see what the game was going to open up to. So, okay. and back then, like I said, where I was then versus where I'm at now was like different. So a lot of things I look at things differently. If I was to go back and play and like, all right, let me play this game through and through and see what I care about, I would be able to give you all right, this is what I liked about the game. This is what I really didn't like. I didn't like the direction they went with this. My thing about The Last of Us or any game, it's not even that. Oh, there is religion in it or religious references in the game. It's the manner of which they're used. You know, so I don't like. Sure, quotes can be in games. Sure, they can make theories to religion in the game. LBGT, all that stuff can be in video games. That's not the problem. It's how you're going to deliver the game to me. What am I going to be doing with these things that you're putting in the game? Like, so when you think about Last of Us and you think, wait a minute, the hero, and I know people are going to like look at me sideways. So I got to play as a homosexual hero, and the enemy is going to be at that. I'm sorry, like really, so that's how I'm like. That's one way of looking at it. If it's just like I've dabbled in games that have the LBG stuff, like the Life is Strange and those type of games that they, even they try to sneak it in Assassin's Creed and all that other stuff. It exists. I mean, that stuff doesn't bother me because there's ways around it and it's not that deep. I say when it gets deep enough where I feel like it's challenging me in my morals, then I start to feel a certain way. Because if I feel like this any game where I feel like I feel bittersweet or I feel uncomfortable playing, then it's not. I shouldn't be playing it. It's just like any movie or any music that I'm listening to, and I'm like, yo, I'm not comfortable with the content of this. I'm skipping. And that's what I did with people like Jay-Z and all that stuff. Like that's just happened over time. So it's not like. And if this all comes out not to be like obviously the case, if this game turns out, and I'll tell you this, if this is the case, let's say if the plot is it is a cult. Okay, cool. It's a cult. And there's no reference of Christians or the Christian faith or anything like that, and no connection at all with this cult. And it's just a cult that they have their agenda that they're pushing. And I'm talking about in the forms of the story, like they're not really pushing the whole like gay lesbian thing, and that's their gripe in the game, and it's not like a Christian or faith or religious or anything like that, and it's just a cult. I don't care. Is the way that how they were saying it in the rumor that it quoted Christians, like, and it seems targeted, and I was like, well, if it's going to be that, then it's going to target a group. I'm a Christian. I practice my faith. I mean, I'm comfortable where I'm at, and I was like, if it's that, then it's completely against what I'm about, and I'm not going to be comfortable playing a game, which is a disappointment because I was really looking forward to it. I want to play it. So my discomfort with that isn't like, oh, they're doing this, like, damn, I can't play this game because it's just I can't. I'm not going to be able to enjoy the game. So that's where the tweet and discomfort. If they're going to go about it this way, then I won't be able to play it, and that's unfortunate. But
well, let me ask something, Smooth. I mean, now that because we know that this group they're not a Christian group, they're agnostic, right? We know that now. Does that change your perspective on the game now, knowing that?
Wait, how do we know that now?
Well, that's okay. That's what's been.
We got to see. I got to wait. I'm gonna wait until
based on the Last of Us 2 wiki page.
Okay,
that's cool. That the group is agnostic. But that's all we know about it.
We don't know anything about the game, and people should wait for it to come out before getting worked up, right? Hate to see it.
Yeah.
Ooh, shots fired.
Go ahead, Luca.
Well, I'm just saying, it's like the thing of it is, right? I'm never going to be someone who's going to disparage someone because of their faith or their religion or anything like that. But my thing is, I truly believe that people get upset way too quickly, way too easily, without any proper information. It's like all the rumors of this stuff coming out, none of it has solid foundation of anything. And I said this on Smooth Show, this person who leaked all this stuff, if they really are a disgruntled employee, who's to say that they're even being honest about the viewpoints of all this stuff? What if they're like, you know what? I'm gonna have it extra saucy to really get people upset, to say fuck Naughty Dog and get people to not buy this game because I'm so mad because of this and this and this. And all this is alleged, by the way. We don't even know if this is actually true or not because the source came from fucking Sausage Party, Sausage Daddy, Sausage Link, something. I don't fucking know. I've never heard.
Roll, I think.
Sausage roll. Okay, sausage roll.
Sausage Party is a movie. right.
That kind of movie I want to watch.
Heard of this fucking group before, and like, so for me, every time some information comes out about anything, I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna wait until some reputable source actually comes out and confirms all this stuff before making posts on Twitter and getting really upset or anything like that, because I could end up being completely wrong. And the last thing I want to do is start an argument with people or say something that I know is going to upset people only for it to turn out to not even be true. It's just like, yo, what's the point? There's just no point to any of that stuff.
The one questionable thing is in Neil Druckmann's Instagram page, he used a particular Kurt Cobain quote, which was very telling after the leaks and after the story came out. So I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, no, I saw it, but
Yeah,
I don't know
if
it is telling or not, because to be quite frank, we
Hold on,
all know that Neil
what did he say,
Druckmann
Luca?
it was a Kurt Cobain quote talking about, like, if you don't support gay people or you have issues with people because of their race or their sexuality or their gender, then don't buy our stuff. Basically, that's what Kurt Cobain said. That's the gist of the message right there. So Neil Druckmann posted that, Now, given the fact that Neil Druckmann actually supports Anita Sarkeesian, I'm not surprised that he posted this shit. Okay, like I'm not shocked by it. It's not.
Who is that?
She is a con artist. All right, a con artist who takes feminist issues, right, and claims that everything is racist, everything is sexist, everything is homophobic. Okay. She's one of those fucking nut jobs who, but mind you, takes a bunch of money from people. I mean, they willingly give her the money, so whatever, right? And then she like charged. She's like, "Listen, I need like $10,000 to open up a Discord. Discord is free. It's free." And then the money disappeared. She never opened up the Discord. And then she's got this YouTube channel she never updates. She wasn't paying her fucking employees. So it's there's just so many issues. But she is a con artist, okay, who uses the idea of being a feminist to, she's like one of those radical feminists, right, who's got like those really extreme crazy ideas like air conditioning is sexist, you know, like crazy shit like that, right?
Oh my god,
this bitch, she's a fucking nut job, all right? She's crazy, okay?
She convinced the BioWare what was it, the BioWare Montreal team that was working on Mass Effect Andromeda to make, they had these two models, basically, these two European models that were going to be the twins, the Ryder twins, the main protagonists for the game. She convinced them to make them more what she called normal looking, which is what turned out to be just uglier, because she didn't think that, you know, video game characters should always look like supermodels or something like that. And you see how that game turned out when it came to facial animations. The way just
I wouldn't necessarily blame her for that.
Hey, I don't want to interrupt you, Luca. I got to take care of the super chat real quick. Elemento Pio with the $2 super chat. Thank you, sir. Says Enrique, were you expecting Last of Us 2 to be open world? No, no, not open world. Go ahead, Luca or Slow-Mo.
No, I mean it's they had their own issues with you know, of course, you know, the Frostbite engine being absolute garbage, but there were. She showed up to the studio multiple times and spoke to the entire studio on how she felt the direction that that game should go, which is problematic, to say the least. I mean, that's the whole tangent.
Trash bag, but so
one of her most recent fire starts was trying to like start shit with the Mandalorian, saying that there's no strong female characters in the Mandalorian, and like,
she said that immediately after a female director. You're like, what?
After that,
she also made comments about like Legend of Zelda and all that shit. Like she's not a real gamer. I don't even think she even plays video games, but she's always got some shit to say about these fucking games too. Yeah. It's like, shut the fuck up, bitch. You don't know what you're talking about. Like, she makes me sick, honestly.
Yeah, there's a saying in politics that goes, never let a good crisis go to waste.
Like, facts. That's true. That's a great point. That's a good point, Code. We're seeing that kind of right now. But you know, it's interesting, like, and Kid, I hear what you're saying, man. And I would never, like Lucas said, like, I would never disparage anyone for their religious beliefs. You know, if you don't feel comfortable playing the game, that's fine. You know, we all, come to that own conclusion based on our own beliefs, right? And like Lucas said, I would never disparage anyone for their own personal beliefs. But I will offer kind of a different point of view here. I'm kind of, and I heard what you said, Luca, about what Neil Druckmann put on his Instagram page. Someone in the live chat was like, "I'm not supporting this game because of what he said," and I just, me personally, I don't understand that mindset. Like, whatever Neil Druckmann's beliefs are, his beliefs, you know, for me, it's and I'm Christian too. Most people don't know this.
Stop lying.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, you probably wouldn't know that, right?
No true Christian would game on PC.
Oh no, that's not true.
Devil's Playground.
Devil's Playground.
The facts that Code is spitting right now.
Oh my god, the Devil's Playground. No, I mean, but seriously, I, even with kind of that idea, the backdrop of if this cult was a Christian, quote unquote Christian cult, me personally, I wouldn't have a problem with that, because look, we have seen examples of extreme Christianity in the world. We've seen certain religious cults.
We've seen extreme of every religion.
Yeah, we have. And so, you know,
But everybody's only like comfortable with like, you know, with the like pointing to this particular one.
What do you mean?
No, I wouldn't say that at all. I mean, if I would say if you spoke to someone of Islamic faith, they would say that their only representation in video gaming is to be terrorists. That's literally every single game that you see someone who is of Islam, they got a gun and they're with a grenade, you know, or they got bomb straps on.
Last of Us, the one with Chloe and what's her face, and there were plenty of Muslims that were trying to help make the world a better place.
Yeah, but that was an issue.
You just mentioned one game, and
that was an issue.
Every single Call of Duty and every single first-person shooter that will say differently.
And Slow-Mo, that was an issue. The last Call of Duty. To your point, that was brought up. That how is this portray Muslims, that game, and that was an issue with the recent Call of Duty.
Go back further. I mean, you had like a segment in Call of Duty where you were mowing people down in an airport. Not too long after, you know. I mean,
Lucas, like, I love it.
It's just like if I can kind of piggyback on what you're saying, Enrique, because I'm a Christian as well, but I kind of look at it in terms of, and this is not a conversation about trying to change anybody's mind.
Hence, you should be playing on PC.
No, God gave me free will to make better choices.
Oh, okay,
man.
Wow,
okay,
go over.
So Jesus. I can respect like where Smooth is coming from, but I also kind of want to, you know, shed light on what Luca was saying. It's sort of like, you know, we kind of live in this culture where it's like we're very reactive to the immediate information that we have when we don't even have all of the information, right?
Outrage culture. They call it that for a reason.
Yeah, and I know like Slow-Mo mentioned like Far Cry 5, and I think back to Red Dead Redemption 2, where people were sharing their love for mowing down Klansmen. And a lot of the atrocities Klansmen carried out were in the name of Christianity. So I kind of look at it and I stand like, if you really step back and think about all the culture that we have, books, movies, television, whatever the case may be, if you kind of look at the creator, like we talk about Neil Druckmann or whatever, you probably wouldn't consume much media. Because all these people have, if you really dug into it, probably have an opinion that you don't share, have an agenda that you don't share, and have a feeling that you might not share. You know, so you kind of have to separate that. Like, I'm a Christian, but I have no problem in a game shooting down people who are considered to be Christians, but doing atrocious things.
Oh, let me chime in because I hear what everybody's saying. It was funny, EJ, to hear your last two sentences.
Moses speaks. Everyone be quiet.
Wow. So first, I got to throw some shade at EJ because EJ, your last sentence was, because I'm a Christian and I don't mind shooting down people in the game.
In a game. You know what I'm saying? I get what you're saying, okay? I get what you're saying.
All right. So I do think we need to add context because I think there's everything that everybody's saying in a vacuum. I think it makes sense in a vacuum. And for me personally, though, it is, oh my God. So you have what is in our country, a political climate, and there is definitely a lot of people that don't like our commander-in-chief. And because of our commander-in-chief and his alleged alignment to Christianity is already under attack or being targeted because people don't like him. And a lot of his decision making that people disagree with often is attributed to his Christian beliefs. And the model is being put together that Christians can't be trusted to make sound decisions. They ignore evidence. They are homophobic, every other phobic. And so there's just this picture in a political climate of, in the United States, Christians are the problem.
Okay, I have a question real quick. For all the presidents, what was the faith of all the presidents?
I would assume every one of them was Christian.
So it's just like the religious part of this. I have not seen anyone talk about religion. Not to say that just because I haven't seen it, it hasn't happened. But it's like this is the first time I'm hearing that people are having issues with President Trump because they believe that his viewpoints come from a religious background.
Oh yeah. Okay, Luca, invite me on your show, man, and give me an hour.
Sure. Yeah. Because it's like since I don't know this for sure, but I know that when it comes to our presidents, they've mostly been married, right? They've all been married, okay? And they've all talked about religion. Like they've all been Catholic or Christian. So it's just kind of like hearing you talk about Christians being the issue with what's going on with the president. I'm like, I think the issue is that he's talking about people should inhale some bleach. Okay, I'm sorry. He didn't say that. My bad. He didn't say that.
No, it was sarcasm, Luca.
He is sick. Never mind.
No, don't go there, Forte.
But yeah, it's just for me. When it comes to like the religion thing, my grandma is a pastor, right? So it's like I've been around religion all of my life, right? And for me, I think when it comes to these portrayals of extremists and extremism in media, I take it as it's like Smooth was saying, each group has a faction in it that's extremist, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the entirety of the group is like a negative, right? So when I see these extremist groups in media, I don't necessarily believe automatically like, okay, Christians are a problem. Christians are evil. Christians cannot be trusted. Christians are all homophobic or there are gay people who are Christian. Like, let's point that out.
You know what I mean? The thing is, Luca, and Meg, I'm gonna have to challenge you because I've seen you say this multiple times when I've talked to you or listened to you on multiple podcasts. You always use yourself as the example, but you are a very fair-minded, critical thinking person.
Thanks, Phil.
You are mistaken if you think the majority of our population matches that.
No, so of course, I don't think that at all. I think people are how do I say? I think people are not like me, actually. I think that I'm a rare person. Not to say that I'm a special snowflake or anything like that, but I am, bitch. But it's just like, for me, my viewpoint always comes
Luca,
from
you critically think, though.
Yes, like I use critical. I use critical thinking. I think that people are. You know what? I don't want to disparage a lot of people, but I don't have a very good viewpoint on people in general, honestly. Exactly. I give people the benefit of the doubt, but you know what? I don't trust these ninjas. All of them are sketchy. Okay.
Say it with your chest.
You know, I don't know what's going on most of the time. I be minding my business and I see someone say something crazy and I'm just like, oh my God, what is going on? And I just keep it moving. You know what I mean? Like I just keep.
Luca, can I interrupt you for 1 second? I'm sorry.
Of course.
I need to correct some people in the chat. No one on here said that what was done by the Klan was mostly done in the name of Christianity. Can you people please comprehend this? I said atrocities were carried out in the name of God for what they wanted to do, like their agenda.
For all of human history.
Right. So like
that is the perfect example of what we're talking about. People take things and you know, like Luca can accurately look at something for what it is. I'm not trying to give Luca any more but then other people but then other people don't like listen well, they don't comprehend well, and then they will get a completely different perspective. I've always looked at like when you see things like cults or even bring up the KKK, they used religion as a tool. That's really saying that
go and read and you will see I'm not reaching. That is exactly what they were doing.
Yeah, use it as a tool to accomplish.
I'm not going back and forth.
Yeah, if somebody's disputing that, it's got to be because they 5 years old and they know nothing about the history of this country.
Woo!
Right.
We know Code does. He's been around since 1850.
Burning Cross?
My thing is like, I have friends who have different viewpoints and who are different religions and who have different political views too. Like one of my closest friends, even though, and I'll just let you guys know my political beliefs here. I didn't vote for President Trump, but one of my close friends, she did, and she supports him. You know, and I've just decided we're just not going to talk about politics. Like, I'm like, listen, I'm not going to open up this door with her. But, you know, and I don't have any issues being friends with someone who believes different things than me, right? So it's like, when I saw Smooth, I don't care that Smooth isn't interested in this game. And I respect his feelings towards being uncomfortable at whatever they may be, may be portrayed, right? But it's just like I said, my biggest thing is I just wish that people would wait before getting themselves upset is really what it comes down to. Because it's like all of this could have just been avoided if people had just waited for the game to come out / just not read the spoilers. Or some of us were spoiled unintentionally. Like I saw some fuckface spoil me. I had to block him. The amount of people I've blocked, right? But it's just like when I see new information, I am at this point where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait, because there's been many times where someone has watched something before me. Supergirl, okay, someone has watched episodes of Supergirl, okay, and they've gotten upset, and they've been like, character did XYZ, I got spoiled. Okay, so I'm just upset and I'm mad going into this episode of Supergirl, and it turns out to be perfectly fucking fine based off my viewpoints as a person, the way I interpret things. So it's like, I just think that people should wait and actually play the game for themselves, and actually keep in mind that all of this is just unconfirmed. I mean, at the end of the day, right? I think the reason why Neil posted that quote has more to do with the reaction of people just being like, I don't want this SJW bullshit garbage agenda. I don't want to fucking play as this lesbian. I don't want to play as these gay people. I don't want to play as a game with these homosexuals killing Christians or anything like that. It's because they saw the posts like that, and so they're just like, well, you know what? They took those posts and said, these are hateful posts. Therefore, I'm going to say this in response to that. And I think that's where it's coming from. I mean, at the end of the day, considering Neil Druckmann's views and the fact that he is stupid enough to, no offense, support Anita Sarkeesian, who knows what the game's actually going to be about? You know what I mean? So,
what's interesting? Real quick, Code. You know what's interesting? And I'll let you chime in here, Code. But to Luca's point about, I've actually seen people tweet, I don't want to play as a lesbian. I don't want to play as a woman. And I just, for me, I would never be able to wrap my I can't even talk, my mind around that kind of sentiment or feeling about.
But you don't have to, Enrique.
You're right. Like I don't have to. But what I'm saying is, I'm just making a commentary on the comment. Like I just don't understand that mindset of, because I mean,
are you saying they shouldn't have it?
What's that?
Are you saying that those people shouldn't have that mindset?
No, I'm not saying that at all.
I'm just
saying I don't understand it. Like because I don't think like that. Like I think like BG had a great video about this topic today, and he said that life inspires art, right? And I think this game is very somewhat reflective of the current times, our society, and I'm actually fascinated by the characters in this game, right? Because they're not the typical character, the knight in shining armor, right? White male that we see in a lot of games. That's the main protagonist. So that fascinates me. I'm actually excited to see and play this game differently than what most games portray the hero, if you will. I'm not saying, Code, that those people are wrong for thinking that. I just don't understand that viewpoint.
Yeah.
Okay. So
what you want to get? Wait, hold on. You want to get these super chats because one of them says, one of them is like right, which I love to hear. We love to hear it, guys. Just keep it going.
Yeah, big shout out to Kiz with the $7.99 super chat. Luca is right. The problem is not everybody's on the same wavelength. They let a few people taint their view of the religion, whatever it may be. And then Shirzad Khan City with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you, sir. Says you missing a bigger picture, which can only be found in plot leaks and video footage that drove fan outrage. Religion is a weak argument.
Okay.
All right.
So, well, we're not going to talk about the leaks. We've been over that before, so that's out. And also, the point of this discussion is that religion was brought up, and therefore that's what we're talking about. I'm sorry you don't like that discussion, but that's what the discussion is. Sorry, but we're not going to talk about leaks because there are a lot of people like myself who have somehow avoided leaks so far, and just because you haven't doesn't mean that you need to spoil that for the rest of us. So just chill with the leak talk and let's move on to the discussion.
Yeah, so what do you think about all this? Well, I want to hear Smooth's taking stuff. Do you have any further...
Hey, Luca, y'all just ain't gonna let me finish my
thought.
Yeah, let Coach chime in, then we'll go to Smooth.
Soon. Okay.
Nope. We'll save the oldest for the last. That's cool. I might not live through the podcast.
Oh, wow. Wow. All right, go.
When it's your time to go, it's your time to go.
Go ahead, Smooth.
I just want to point out that I've been called agent several times. So the whole okay. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Smooth.
Keep that in mind going forward.
No, I'm just listening. Like I said, like my case and where my initial thoughts came from.
Sure.
Like I said, I felt like it would have been you know, because still I'm speaking in like past tense because we still don't know yet. I just think it would, you know, put me in an uncomfortable situation. Like I said, I still got games today that put me in uncomfortable situations, you know, so that I haven't purchased or I won't finish. You know what I mean? So like we'll see. I mean, I'm not gonna like. I know a lot of people because it's coming from me and the person that I am, being an Xbox guy and whatnot. That they think I'm just saying this, but like I said, if I wanted to rag on a game, I would just rag on a game. You know, I already picked the thing I decided to rag on, and that was the snow effect. You know what I mean? So, and that has really nothing to do with like any of the claims I made. I mean, I still stand by it. I think it was over exaggerated snow effect. I think they need to fix that up. But no, I mean, I have nothing really and more to like elaborate on. If they go that direction, they go that direction. I hope, you know, those who are looking for the game enjoy the game, and if anything, I hope I am wrong. If I'm wrong, then you know what I mean. I could deal with people saying, "Oh, you took this L." That doesn't bother me. But it's like, all right, it wasn't what I thought it was.
No doubt.
All right,
oh, you know they will, Smooth.
Yeah, you know they will, Smooth.
Guarantee you.
Oh yeah, they done screenshotted your stuff, bro. They wait.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they screenshot just in case I play. Like they're gonna wait until an Xbox game comes out that like does the same thing. They're gonna wait and see if I think about it.
It's almost too predictable.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I admire Smooth for being able to just speak his truth regardless of consequence, you know, because there is usually a lot of consequence, let me tell you. All right, go ahead, Coach.
Thank you, Luca. Moderator Luca.
Yeah, you're welcome, boo.
So first, like I was saying, I think you have to take into account the political climate that's here. And it just seems like one more thing. And there are certain people who have made themselves clear that they do not agree with current leadership. And so you can definitely draw the connection that this is yet one more piece of media that is contributing to, because basically it's like the artist against Trump. And there are a lot of people that are doing things specifically because they don't like him. Also, I think that in this case, so like say if Smooth waited like me, I canceled my pre-order. But for very different reasons. I'm surprised that this religion thing is as big a deal to people as it's turning out to be. I canceled my pre-order for completely different reasons, but we can't really discuss it on the show. But if he would wait, then that's money that he is given to contribute to a cause that he would rather not support. And he could play the game, find out that it was true, and then at that point he's out of the $60 or whatever it was, and he has helped sponsor a movement or whatever it is that he's thinking about that he would rather not. And so I think it is important to be able to speak with your wallets. I think you should do that more for Xbox too, Smooth. Speak with your wallet, man. Let them know we want changes.
I mean, he is speaking with his wallet. He uses Game Pass. Just $1, baby.
Wow.
Game Pass
is just $1. Yeah,
it's a great. You know, I will always speak the benefits of Game Pass. All right, it's great. So
yeah. Hey, Smooth, real quick, man. Do you have to go?
Yep.
All right, cool.
No, I got some time. Go ahead.
Okay, you good? Okay, because I was saying if you had to go, I wanted to give you a proper outro, but if you could stick around, that's awesome, man. So
sure.
All right, so real quick, I got to do the super chat here real quick. Elemento PO with a $2 super chat. Thank you, good sir. Says, Last of Us 2, do you expect a hopeful or depressing ending? I'm going to go with depressing ending. I think this game's going to be darker.
I think the whole game's going to be depressing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very dark game. That's for sure.
I mean, I done seen people say stuff like life is art, and I don't know, like a whole bunch of stuff. People responded to my tweet like artists should be free to create and just a whole bunch of stuff. And my response to them is the same that I would use on this show. They created the first Last of Us without doing all this crazy trash, and it resonated with fans just fine. There are thousands of games that use the same cliche formula, like all of a sudden having a classic hero is like somehow out of fashion, and the game is so much better if everybody's like Game of Thrones or some trash. I have zero interest in a narrative where something ends up like Game of Thrones or whatever it is, where you just disregard the fans and you just do some weird stuff just for the sake of being
And
weird.
this is all alleged, by the way. I'm just saying. We don't actually know what's gonna happen. So
Well, yeah, I can't really speak my part because I don't want to spoil the stuff.
But
so
what's wrong with trying new things though?
What's wrong with trying new things? So there's plenty of wrong with trying new things. So if you have a fan base and you're trying to support your fan base, let's just say Marvel and Spider-Man. And so let's just say Spider-Man, he exists within certain boundaries. And what if all of a sudden we want to try new things? So Spider-Man is a pimp and he has a harem of women. It's ridiculous. There are lines that you cannot cross.
You're describing Kratos. That
being said, unless this is say this isn't in the movie format, there are plenty of comics that have weird shit in it that aren't canon, that people have tried different things,
Exactly. And you see that those don't ever become mainline. They stay off on the side.
Yeah, but they still exist. So it's just that's cool, that people can do some crazy shit and it's just perfectly fine. I don't know.
But again, Luca, even with that, you notice that they make clear that this is not the main line because they don't want to disrupt. Right. The fans have expectations and they want to support the fan base, so they found a way to try to have both coexist, but they don't sacrifice one for the other. And in this case, it's like you're going to get this thing that we think is the best story, and regardless of what our fans expect, it's our characters. The characters don't belong to the fans, so we do what we want. And whoever don't like it, they'll deal with it.
This sounds like Star Wars all over again.
Ryan seems very bothered by this whole KKK discussion, man.
Oh yeah, but I mean,
it's funny because it's people, they hear what they want to hear, and then they just go full bore into what they think. Yeah, they don't, and it's hilarious. It's like I'm engaging with this in the chat, but really, honestly, I'm pretty much done with it. Like, it was a tangent in this discussion. It does not need to be continued on further, and it really doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about. If people really want to know what the KKK was about, there are history books.
Are you serious?
I mean, seriously, just read something, and you will find out.
Why do you think they burn crosses in people's front yards?
Yeah.
So my thing is, I just think that life is beautiful. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I do believe that if fans are upset about something, they have the right to speak up and protest and offer their viewpoint. But I say that with the intention that people should wait for it to actually come out first and then see, and it's like you don't have to buy the game to know how it is. You can watch playthroughs. They're literally everywhere. Hashtag shout out to the Rad Brad, love him. Anyway, so yeah, you could watch a playthrough if you don't actually want to play it because you hear that it has certain elements. You can be like, okay, this is how it actually is, and you can get a good representation of it without spending your own money. So
Luca, when you said wait, you have no problem with Smooth canceling his pre-order. You just have a problem with him tweeting about it before he knows all the details.
I actually don't have a problem with that either. It's more like I was minding my whole ass business and Smooth came to my tweet arguing with me.
Is this true, Smooth?
Yeah, I thought she was subtweeting me.
Yeah, it's like, so it's like, okay, but yeah, like I said, me and Smooth had a conversation about this. I saw people responding to his post who I know for a fact do not own a PlayStation and do not like The Last of Us because I've heard them talking shit in Xbox parties, okay? So I was talking about them. I don't, like I said, I believe Smooth when he says he doesn't want to get it because of the religious elements. So I don't care. I really don't care. But like I said, I do think people should wait before they get upset. Like I said, you can tweet out whatever you want, but if you're getting yourself upset because of something, and then it ends up not being true, what? It just sucks. It's like a lot of energy that could have been spent doing something else.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let me be very clear, because I don't think I really connected the dots with my political atmosphere thing. So what's the people that were at the border and they were separating them from the children? Was those people trying to get in from Mexico?
What are you talking about? ICE?
Are you talking about the airport? What are you talking about?
Well, the United States just recently had all those little camps where they were separating parents from
You're
children.
talking
Oh
about
yeah, you mean recently? Was that
Yeah.
recently?
Very recently.
Yeah, what
yeah.
about it?
Very recently.
So let's just say that those are the Mexican.
That's actually
population.
still going on, but
That's
I'm
still
sorry,
going on.
continue.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, so let's say 5 years ago you make a game with the Mexican as the enemy,
Oh my god.
it will be received one way. But if you make a game today and say like you shooting down Mexicans and kids, even though it is a similar concept, the climate that your art is released in contributes to your perception of the perception of your art, and you can't separate the two. And so if you do something in a politically charged climate that contributes to that, your reaction is going to be based off of that in some degree, even if it's unwarranted. So you just can't talk about it in a vacuum as if what else is going on in the world doesn't matter.
Well, that's
Well,
just because, yeah.
I get annoyed with stuff like that though. Like take Eminem for instance, when he apologized for using the slur, the F slur or whatever, against gay people. I was in one of his songs. I was very irritated because it's like you've been disparaging gay people for fucking years and you've
Yeah,
never
they
said
built your
anything.
career on that, right?
He built his career on that. So it's just like insane to me that he would even apologize because it comes off as insincere because you know he doesn't actually give a fuck, because if he did, he wouldn't have been doing it in the first place. So I don't like stuff like that either. Like I don't think people should apologize for shit they've been doing for years.
Well, maybe he's evolved as a human.
I don't think so, but whatever.
no.
Whatever.
No,
You know, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Some
He's still
people
talking
do
about.
change.
Wait. He's still talking about raping women too.
Oh man,
Business, all right.
All right.
those sales was hurting, so he had to apologize.
Hurting
Wow.
Eminem's. Okay, let's. Hurting for him is like
Well,
what
yeah,
people
yeah.
would aspire to.
Yeah.
Well,
So, guys, real quick, I want to kind of transition this a little bit. Still with The Last of Us and Naughty Dog. We've heard. Remember, Jason Schreier put up that article about the toxic culture within Naughty Dog. That guy came out and tweeted a bunch of stuff, and then then we found out he really wasn't telling the truth per se. The person he was talking about, who apparently had to go to the hospital, didn't go to the hospital because she had a mental breakdown. She went to the hospital for personal reasons, but unrelated to what he claimed to be a mental breakdown. So there's some credibility issues there with that guy. But I guess, this comes down to apparently the alleged leaker did this. And by the way, this guy, I saw people championing this guy. No one should champion this guy. He's not a hero.
Well, why not? I think he is.
No.
Why?
Code.
Why not?
Because this guy basically shat on the work that people put in to this game because he was upset and he was angry and he didn't behave. He sabotaged his career. He's done. So
Do they know who it is?
Well, they probably do. I mean, it's alleged that it was over a bonus that wasn't paid out when it was supposed to be paid out. He got angry and said,
Shit. I'm sorry. I'm playing Bloodborne. My bad.
"Oh,
How do we know it wasn't a girl?
Okay, maybe it was a girl."
See, this is what I'm fucking saying. We don't know anything.
Yeah.
All right?
Okay.
Allegedly.
Let's just say the alleged Naughty Dog employee, right?
Okay.
Did not get their bonus, got angry and said, "F it, I am going to spoil the game and just release everything out to the public. Break my NDA, F my career, I'm done. I'm angry. I'm out of here." They did me
I got
wrong.
a scoop. I got a scoop actually.
Go ahead.
It was all over lo mains. He wrote his name on a lo mein in the fridge, and somebody ate his shit. That was like the final straw. This damn crunch, and now somebody ate my lo mein.
Who drank my apple juice?
Hey, man, he might not have put his name on it, man. That's the first mistake.
I heard he did though. Forte. I heard he put his initials on it.
Man. There's no excuse. I agree.
Code, are you being serious about like champion? Yeah, champion.
Am I being serious? Oh, absolutely. I am 100% happy.
I disagree with you 100%,
I
Cole, but
was
go ahead.
able to avoid a $200 purchase that I'm no longer interested in, and I would have had to find out after the fact
That's
that.
interesting.
Yeah, I'm 100% happy that I can go in with my eyes open instead of just having to wait and see. 100%. But again, I don't care about the religious stuff. My reasons are very different than what apparently most of the people's are. And if you look through my Twitter feed, you will see I've been saying for over a year certain things. Again, I can't go into it, but I was very clear. A, B, and C, I have no interest in this franchise, A, B, and C. And it looks like it's exactly A, B, and C. And I was very clear. If it's not A and B and C, then I'll buy it digitally later. Like you said, Luca, I'll wait and support it after the fact. But I am not going to spend. I bought that Ellie edition pre-order. Actually, I bought 2 of them because I was going to give away one. So that's $400.
You were going to give away one? Oh, man, you hate to see it. You know,
So
I am
anyway,
a connoisseur
I'm
for getting free stuff. So, okay, I'm
I am happy that I have been spared, and I'm unapologetic.
Yeah, but come on, man. What about the people that work? I understand, like,
care.
Yeah, so you don't care about the people that worked hard and put hours
and
did
I don't
crunch.
care about them. I don't understand the context of the question.
I mean, like you don't like isn't there?
Do I want them to get hit by a car? No, I care about.
But don't you feel bad? But don't you feel?
Wait, hold on. That's extreme.
That is extreme. But don't you feel bad for the people, Code? Because
you've
been in crunch. You developed games. You know people have been putting their blood, sweat, and tears in this. You're not upset or feel empathy towards the people that, man, we put all this work into it. We wanted to release this to the fans. Now the fans has potentially spoiled the game for fans. It took away a sale. You being one of them.
No, I feel zero. All right, let's put this a different way. Again, because it's so in a vacuum, Enrique. If that existed in a vacuum by itself, yes, I would, but it doesn't. And from what I'm hearing, again, many people at Naughty Dog itself, like this utopia that you're saying, like we're all working hard and we want the game to be released and we're happy. Like I don't agree that exists. I think that it is very possible that there are plenty of people on staff at Naughty Dog right now who do not like the game that they built. They are bound by NDAs. They can't speak on it, and they are also happy because they don't want this to become a norm, and they want the industry to wake up and for people to learn their lesson about what the fans accept, but they're powerless to do anything.
But this isn't the way to do that, though, Code. Like to go
don't
out.
Disagree with that. I don't.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying that it's just utopia there. Look, I'm sure there's people there that are like, I fucking hate this job, right? But if you hate your job, you work for an employer, they're not paying you, leave. I mean, go. I mean,
it's really not
like easy, apparently 70% of people did. Yeah,
yeah.
Well, 70% of the designers left. To clarify that,
Uncharted 4.
But yeah. I understand how you feel, Cole. But then, and I'm glad you agree that this isn't the way to do that. This doesn't really benefit anyone. Like, yeah, you're gonna hurt the upper management, the leadership at Naughty Dog by doing this. But then you're also hurting your colleagues. You're hurting yourself. You're hurting the fans.
The part that I disagree with. I think that there are colleagues that are happy that this came out, not necessarily the way it came out, but I think that there are colleagues that are happy that this is getting attention and that they don't want to work on this product.
Well, okay, well,
but that's not the way to. Go ahead, Luke.
I agree. There's a different way to accomplish that goal. I'm just saying, this whole notion that y'all keep saying, like, and they've upset the colleagues and hurt all. Like, I don't necessarily agree with that.
So you think no colleagues are upset that the game was spoiled?
Oh, there probably are some, but it's not like all of these people are upset.
Well, I mean, we don't know.
No, that's not what we're saying. We're not saying that everyone is upset.
You know,
you definitely affected someone at the studio.
Sure.
Optimus Code is like one of these wordsmiths, okay?
No,
that you
I've done nothing.
No, let me finish, okay? He's one of these wordsmiths where you have to be really careful about what you say around him because he will just take it, he'll spin it, he'll turn it into something else, or he'll be like, "Did I say woo?" It's very impressive. I do the same thing. Maslin does the same thing. So, you know, I'm loving it. But Code, you're not going to get me, Code. I'm just going to let you know that right now.
How is this ageless person getting all this camera time on this show, man?
Code, you are a wordsmith. You use things like, oh, in a vacuum. I'm like,
Wow. Ain't no love, man.
Person getting all this attention.
Code's like, you got to homogenize the situation.
All right, look. Do I think that it was a weak move to underhandedly leak out the hard work of others? Yes.
That's my point.
Do I regret that he did it? No. And would I would bet money that at least 50% of the people that y'all saying are hurt by that Naughty Dog or not. And I would take that. And I think I would win that bet. I'm not so certain that utopia at Naughty Dog exists the way that y'all think, where it's so much hard work.
I don't
No, we didn't say utopia.
No
one said
there's no
utopia.
utopia at any workplace. Any workplace. You think everybody's happy at work?
No one said utopia. It's like the same thing when you were like,
wait a minute, is this AGS? Everybody talking at the same time?
I'm just hold on. Let me finish talking shit. I just find it interesting that Enrique makes a comment, right? And you're like, "Are you saying that I dislike them? Like I want them to get hit by a car?" I'm just like, "Wait, yo, what?" No one said anything. You take things and you turn it extreme. You make it extreme, man. You make it extreme. Okay.
He said, "Do you care about people at Naughty Dog?" And like I don't want them to get hit by a car, sure, but like, do I care if they lights get turned off? I don't care.
But Cole, what you did say was that like we think that there's a utopia at Naughty Dog, and no one believes that. How many articles have we read? Oh yeah, there's sexual harassment. That whole thing happened like 5-6 years ago. We've got
the Rockstar guy, the Rockstar VP.
That have come out about how the culture there sucks. Like 0 people think everything is peaches and cream at Naughty Dog. That's okay.
Well, then maybe I misspoke, so I walk that back a little bit, just a little bit, not much. But the idea, statement that he messed up all the hard work of the people at Naughty Dog and his colleagues, and I am saying that I disagree that the majority of his colleagues are upset. I don't disagree. I just have a hard time believing that the majority of his colleagues are upset. I tend to believe that at least half of his colleagues are happy that this came out. Maybe wish it would have come out a different way, sure. But now that it is out, I do not think that they're all hurt and despondent and like all our work is ruined. No, I don't think that at all. I think that they hope that this will make a brighter future. And if somebody like Naughty Dog can be forced to just be more caring and be more inclusive, then if that domino falls, then I think there's hope for other people as well. I think that people inside of Naughty Dog think that. I don't know that. I haven't heard anything. That's just what I believe for my own reason.
All right, cool. Yeah.
I gotta get the super chat, guys. Charles Paul with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you, sir. Says art is expression. Why would you want a watered down vision for others to enjoy more over an artist pushing their vision fully as they intended? Optimus.
The same reason I enjoyed the first Last of Us without all of that trash, and they did it before. There are tons. I watched Naruto. Thanks, Luca, for the shout out.
You're
teaching me what anime to watch. I watch all type of stuff where they play within the lines, they push boundaries, but without crossing lines. And there is great content in this world without the need to just be so obscure that it's just trash. Again, I would use Game of Thrones as a reference.
So did you get to the part where okay, well,
they're at the tuning exams.
The tuning things are about to get a lot. Have you met Gara yet?
Man, I can't keep up with all them strange.
He's got red hair and a tattoo on his forehead.
Yes, the sand people or whatever, desert people.
Okay, have you seen his scene yet where he sketchy stuff? Or okay, all right, cool. Well, good luck.
They just went in the forest. That's where I'm at.
Okay, well, things are about to get a lot darker. So
sorry, y'all.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but okay.
Talking about quality, but okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The point is that there are plenty of art forms and there are plenty of things that are created that are fabulous without it having to be trash. And it's not like, I don't know where this new thing has come from. Like 5 people has asked me something very similar to what he just said about the artist's true vision. And I think the artist can refine their vision to within certain boundaries and still produce excellent stuff.
But art doesn't have boundaries though.
Woo!
Well, that's what I just said earlier about the expectations of the fans. So we can take Spider-Man and we can do whatever we want.
Code is wordsmithing again.
No, I'm not. Like Spider-Man. So if art has no boundaries, can they do anything they want with Spider-Man? I responded to Tim Dog.
Depending on the medium.
They could.
They could do it in a comic setting and it would be okay. Well, it wouldn't be okay per se, but people would be more likely to accept it versus if it was in like a movie. Say if they like made Spider-Man gay or Peter Parker gay or something. A lot of people would have an issue with that because Peter Parker is such a big name, just like if they tried to make Clark Kent gay or something like that. So,
but the point is, so EJ is saying they can do whatever they want, which EJ, what I'm hearing is
B Money said that.
Oh, B Money said that. I didn't even know you was here, B Money. What's up, man?
What's going on?
What's up? So you saying that they have no regard for fan expectations, and they can make Spider-Man a pimp, and he has a harem, and he's got women and on heroin and on the corner selling their bodies so that he can earn money. And this
they can make Spider-Man whatever they wanted. Did you watch the Watchmen?
Of course I did.
Okay, did you expect what happened to happen?
But the Watchmen were created to be that. There weren't fan expectations already. That Watchmen graphic novel was created with those characters in that way. They're not taking something that's already established and morphing it into something else under the guise of artistic freedom.
Okay, right. So did you played the first Last of Us, right?
Of course.
Did you play you played the Left Behind?
Yes.
Okay, so what's so different than going into this next game?
Well, I can't really talk because it'll be spoilers again. My issue is not what everyone else's issue is with the religion stuff. I don't care about that, but I respect the people that do. I can't talk about my issue with the game, but like 3 months from now, we can happily revisit this.
Yeah, we're gonna have to revisit this. Yeah,
we're gonna have to do that then.
Yeah.
And hey, Luca, let's get metaphorical because I need to ask him: can they just do what they want with Spider-Man? Because B Money, yeah, someone be at you, man.
Well,
I just told you they can. They can do whatever they want.
Me personally, I don't think they can do whatever they want with Spider-Man. Because the fan backlash would be too extreme, given the fact that Spider-Man is such a popular character. So. Like
I'm just saying it's expectations from fans.
Plus Disney / Marvel will have to sign off on whatever they did story wise, and I don't even think they would be down with pimping Spider-Man or whatever.
I want to see Spider-Man with a fur coat and some talcum powder.
Well, I think it's mostly they can do whatever they want with the character, but the expectation of the fans backlash, would they actually take that in consideration? So they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
They own the IP, but when his conversation is, yeah, the fans will push back in a very, very hard way. But like I said, when it came to my favorite franchise, Star Wars, the fans didn't matter in that situation. So, and that's why the last 3 movies sucked.
And they might not have, they might not have been received well by fans, but financially they still did very well.
Oh yeah, they did financially well.
I was looking at, so they did like the most recent one. It did like over $1 billion, and like no one could argue with it. But the ones before that did like $4 and $5 billion, and so it was definitely not as popular as before. Yeah. Who's gonna argue at $1 billion profit, man? Please.
Yeah, so it's like it's a fan backlash.
I can argue about it when there's only 1 billion versus 4 and 5.
But it's still they're still in the $1 billion club, bro.
It's still a B in there.
Yeah.
Still a B in there, but
yeah. Hey guys, real quick, I want to move to the next topic because we're about 40 minutes out from 11 o'clock. So, some Xbox news here. That was a great conversation, by the way. Phil Spencer tweeted out. I don't know if you guys saw this code. I don't know if you had a chance to read it. I DM'd you, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this because you and I lived. Most of us on this panel lived the 2D to 3D generation. We could talk about that, how dramatic and impactful that shift was in the industry many years ago. Phil Spencer tweeted out that the upcoming gen will change as dramatically as any since 2D to 3D, given CPU upgrade, DLI, memory bandwidth, and SSD. Given the monumental leap from 2D and 3D changing how we experience games and its impact on game design, do you think, Code, this might be an exaggeration of what we're going to see?
Please tell.
I have no idea.
I mean, is that a pretty bold claim, though, Code? I mean, remember
that is a bold claim.
I was like, wait a minute, like 2D to 3D was huge.
I mean, I agree that the feel of the game, and I only had like 10 minutes or so to look into this, so I haven't studied it extensively, and I haven't gotten a chance to talk to anyone that has worked with it. But I do agree with Phil that, I do agree with PHIL that the FEEL of the games, if they can, I remember making a mental adjustment when we first went to wireless controllers. I've grown accustomed to it now, so I don't notice it. But I definitely remember that the amount of latency was noticeable when I went from wired to wireless. And at first, I fought wireless for a long time because of it. But eventually, I adjusted. It was the future. And if something can be done to restore that actual feel of the game back to when everything was plugged in, yeah, I certainly think that that would be a game changer. How much, I'm not sure. Same as always, it's going to depend on how the dev teams use this and what things they build on top of this ability. But I do think it has the potential to be pretty dang on big.
I don't know, man. What do you think, Forte? You're out there going,
When I saw, I mean, there's different ways that you could look at it. I don't think you're going to see the leap in graphical fidelity like some people probably are taking that comment as. I think the leap is going to come on the backside of what performance is going to look like, the things that you can actually do in games, the more things that you're going to see on the screen and stuff like that. I don't think graphically, we're already at that point. I mean, ray tracing is going to give you better lighting, better shadows and stuff like that, but overall
sometimes,
sometimes, but overall, I already have a high-end PC that could kind of represent that in a really good way. Have you seen Red Dead Redemption on a PC?
Yes, sir.
I mean, so
preach.
How much better can you make those graphics look? I mean,
way better.
Well, no, you're right. If they had this conversation about the 20, if we had that conversation about the 2080 Ti, and if they could build just for that, you're absolutely right. But when it comes to them always building to the lower denominator, we're never going to see that point until hundreds of years from now. We'll probably see it.
That was kind of what I was thinking about Forte, and like what Code has talked about. People come after Code for saying this about, Code's not a big fan of the the Lockhart.
I just don't understand what it's for, but
I don't either. I said that a while ago on BRAP. I said you already have a system and it was your X. That should have been your entry model, because you don't even have. If people are going to argue about the whole Jaguar CPU, and I understand that, but the biggest thing is you're looking for an entry level for those people, and I feel like they didn't even get everything out of the system that we have in our homes now.
Well, Kids Move told me on his show, he's like, they're going to phase out the 1X.
What they're going to do, have 16 different SKUs on the market?
No, they're not. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to do that. So if at a certain point, if this system is to be believed, and most people believe it and say that's what it's going to be, then the X, what is the X for? So you have to have something that's going to replace it. Microsoft, I don't think, can sustain itself. I mean, they can sustain themselves off anything, but they can't sustain. I don't think it can be fruitful for them in the console market to have just a $600 or $500 system on the market, and that's it. They're gonna have to have something to offer to people that just don't want to spend that much money. $500 is already a steep price for a lot of people, especially in the climate that we're in right now. So that $300 to $400 system that everybody is hoping, I hope that is a thing, but I just feel like it shouldn't have to be a thing when you have a system right now that you can literally, a lot of people have, and most of the player base that have Xboxes haven't even upgraded to see what that power looks like. I mean, the X can easily run 1440p gaming.
See, and that was my question, Forte, or not. My confusion is the 1X right now is touted as a 4K machine, but it does 4K 30 sometimes, actually often. But it could easily do 1440 60,
exactly,
1080 60 easily. So I don't know what then the marketing message is for the Lockhart, because it's a more advanced machine but targeting lower graphics according to the rumors. I don't really know, but I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know the full spec of this Lockhart yet, but from what we've seen that's been rumored, we're talking an SSD, which is a huge upgrade over the 1X right now. Just being able to phase out mechanical hard drives, period, is a goal that I think the entire gaming industry should be moving.
The CPU is going to be like a 4 times increase. Like
sure, but all of the games have to run on the OG Xbox One
with the Series X
for a short period of time. But then, like
for 2 years,
3-4 years from now, that's not going to be the case.
Right. We're not talking about 2 years from now, though. We're talking about this November. How is it that a Lockhart and a 1X coexist? What is the point of it? I agree with you a couple of years from now, but like rumors are it's going to release alongside the Series X, and I don't understand who it's
I look at it this way. It's going to coincide how like let's say, you know how like the when the brand new iPhone comes out, right? And then you know how they have a low end model and then a high end model, and then you get that random color model.
Sure, yeah.
So the color model is pretty much similar to the low end model. It just has a color and some few extra gears here. So I suspect like the Xbox One X games and the Lockhart games are probably going to be very similar for the most part. In terms of like the games that are current gen, just that those games they're probably going to be like 30 frames on 1X while being able to achieve 60 frames on Series X and on Series S.
You can already get 60, 1080.
You can and you can't. It depends on what you can and you can't.
No, you mean 1080 60 and 1440 60?
You can get that
you can get that easily.
We got 1440 30 games on the Xbox One X now. So like, I mean,
what? Well, never mind. Let's take
anything running Frostbite engine is barely.
Oh God!
Okay.
Oh, you talking about
Frostbite?
You talking about bad dev development tools at that point?
Yeah, but that has to be brought into the into the argument. It's like not everyone is using Unreal Engine, not everyone is using Unity. So
my bad.
So I mean that kind of plays and basically when it comes down to the better the hardware, the it minimizes the amount of times that poor dev tools can cause a bad experience.
Yeah, so the way Kid on his show put it to me, they're going to phase out the 1X before November. Now that makes sense.
I agree with that, especially if you look at what's been going on now. Like it's like $300-$200 now. So it's like they're trying their best to get rid of stock. I mean, Cyberpunk 2077 got delayed. It was like bump that. We still dropping this thing in June. We not going to have another 1X hitting another SKU hitting the market this close to our launch of next gen. We trying to get rid of all that stock so that because we're not making any more of it. That completely tracks with me. It would not surprise me at all this time next year. You can't find a 1X to be sold anywhere unless it's like at eBay. And it's a used model, and they're just trying to get rid of it.
That makes sense, but them both at the same time, I just don't understand it.
Well, I think kind of the Smooth's point. I think they're going for a different demographic with that Lockhart, and I kind of bring back to his example. Like Apple just came out with a new phone. It's not even really a new phone. It's the iPhone 8. It's old as hell. They just added a couple of little newer features to it. They added a better CPU to it. You know, they just made some things a little bit more like the camera is more modern in it, but it's still an old ass phone. It's $400.
That's for fools who ain't in tech.
Yeah,
don't understand it and get bamboozled by Apple and they bullshit.
Well, right. But see, that's a different demographic. Like your typical iPhone user is like, I'm not buying that. I'm spending $1,000+ on the latest iPhone coming out later this year. Whereas there are some older people who are just like, I just need a phone. Hey, I'm not disparaging anyone. But like, all I'm saying is that
you're sounding a little ageist, bro. I don't know.
Look, my mom is one of those people. My mom said, "Ooh, that's only $400. I'm gonna get that," and she wants me to get that for her birthday in June. I'm like, cool. See, like, there's a market for these people. That's not like everyone is a hardcore gamer. I can tell you for a fact, I know people who are very, very casual gamers who just like, hey, I just found out this game. What's this World War Z game? I'm like, that game came out a minute ago, man. You just seeing that? But like, yeah, he's a casual gamer. I told him about they're coming out with a cheaper version of the Xbox. He said, bet, I'm gonna get that. He never wants the top thing.
So, how would he choose between a 1X and a Lockhart?
All right,
Well,
so,
we don't know what it looks like, but if it's a different color and a different design, then I mean, so be it. There you go.
so okay, so I guess I can see both sides of this, because I still kind of don't understand the Lockhart, but if I think about it in another way, it kind of makes a little bit more sense. I think Microsoft had to make a decision when it came to the viability of the X 2 years from now. They're looking at it like, all right, yes, we can get 1440p 60 1080p 60 out of this box, and I think most of us here on this panel pretty much think the system could probably most likely get to that and be sustainable at that point. But I think what Smooth said about that SSD is the biggest thing. Microsoft is building their games around that SSD, just like Sony is building their games around the SSD. And that's the one thing the X doesn't have. It doesn't have that SSD to take full advantage of those games going forward after that 2-year period is up. Now, does that really matter to a lot of people? Probably not, because most people are probably going to still use old ass hard drives plugged up to their system, and they're still not going to get the benefits of their hard drive out of their games when they plug it up to their system. But I think Microsoft is actually saying is we're not gonna saturate the market longer than we have to with the X. So if we cut it off now, we give the only option for people to buy a brand new system to get one of the newer style systems.
That makes sense.
And then we instantly know that we can start catering towards people that have that SSD. And over the next couple of years, the more and more people that adopt the new system, we can start moving and transitioning all our games and everything over to that platform. So I think that's the main reason they're doing it. And I think the SSD is just... It's literally going to be the cog that's going to make everything turn going through the next generation. And the more and more people that get on it, like, that's why Sony's doing the same exact thing. And you're going to see the same thing happen with PC gaming. PC gaming is going to move over to... They're already pretty much all SSD. So I think this is just another step that Microsoft had to make a really hard decision right now. Do we want to cut off the Xbox One X 3 or 4 years after development of making it? I think that's just the business decision they had to make, in order to,
So you agree with Kid Smooth that they are going to phase out the One X before?
Well, I know they're going to phase it out. I mean, dude, I work in retail and I see these things going for $199 to $200, $300. I mean, it never been this low before, and I don't even get restocked on them, And I think the one telling thing is them releasing that Cyberpunk system 3 months before it actually releases at retail. I think that's a really big one, because they're sitting there. It's like, we don't want to have this system released right around the time that our new system is coming out. We want to get this inventory out right now and give them a code in the box that's going to unlock the game when it does release in September. So I still don't agree with it 100%, but I can understand the thinking behind it. Just if you want to get more people to want to upgrade in 2 to 3 years versus still buying the original Xbox One X. Because think about it, the Xbox One X in 2 years, that thing might be $150. You might see deals of $100 on that thing in 2 years. People, they're gonna run out and get the cheapest thing they can. And when are you gonna really start taking advantage of that new system if you don't start moving people faster? Quicker than normal.
Yeah, Guapzilla coming at you in the chat, Forte. I'm pretty sure I seen an ad for $199 for the One X, but I think it's over. But I'm pretty sure I've seen it.
I think I did. Matter of fact, didn't I tweet something when I said Xbox One X $199 with NBA 2K19? And I think Boom shared it, and a whole bunch of other people shared it because they were trying to get rid of old stock of the old NBA 2K that came with it. I swear I tweeted that out, but I don't know anything, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't. This whole thing. I'll go back to kind of the 2D, 3D thing. I don't know about that code. I mean, I lived that 2D, 3D jump. I mean, this has got to be something revolutionary, and I don't know if you agree with me, Slow-Mo.
It's gonna be graphical. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, not graphical. It's going to be performance. I think when you hear them say it's going to be more of a situation where it's going to be game changing, I always said as soon as they said what some of the specs of this thing was. I was like, oh, you guys finally get to experience what 60 frames per second on most of your games feel like. That's game changing for console. I'm not going. I mean, you can't hold. There's nothing you can say that will not be a game changer for people to play on console. Yes, there are games here and there that do take advantage of 60 frames, like Call of Duty and stuff like that, and Battlefield multiplayer. But when you can literally not have to choose between playing Halo at 30 frames before they gave it the upgrade to 60 frames and stuff, and you could just play it all the way through at 60 frames, that is a game changer, and people will start to see how a game feels versus how the game looks. And don't get it twisted, when you start getting double the frame rate, everything looks better too. It does
look better, but it's not as game changing as Phil is alluding to. It's I think he's trying. He has a product to sell. He has a product to sell. He's trying to sell his product. That's
Phil.
I mean, that's his job. He's supposed to tell you. He's supposed to tell you the power's going to blow you away. It's game changing. Yeah, I mean, that's he's trying to sell you something. This isn't. What's he gonna say? I mean, well, it's just like it's better hardware. Hey, it's like your One X, but better. Like, I mean, that doesn't sound so exciting.
When you started playing certain games on PC, when you came from Xbox, what did those games make you feel? Were they game changing to you?
It was better. I mean, I didn't say, oh my God, this game
This man is lying?
Yeah, he is lying.
Hold on.
Fucking PC Master Race, dude, is over.
This is not true. Look,
liar.
Hold on. I am not lying.
The amount of times I'm minding my whole. What's good? He's just like, I'm gonna talk to you about my PC parts for about 18 years. I sit there like, okay.
Okay, right. Talking about PC parts is one thing. Me claiming I'm playing a completely different game.
So Destiny?
I didn't say that. Destiny? I didn't say that.
Hold on.
Enrique said that.
Me, you, and Forte were in a party playing Destiny PvP, and the bitching that you guys tried to stop from coming out of your mouth.
Yeah, he ain't lying, bro.
And I was like, just let it out.
I was playing in molasses on Xbox, man.
Just going to take that L, bro.
I cannot believe
I am not slow-mo.
I didn't.
Okay, all right.
Look, man, let me
it's a better experience. It's a look, and everyone. Hold on. It's a better experience, and everyone who gets a next gen console is going to experience that. At no point did I say it's like going from 2D to 3D. Like, no, come on. That's a whole nother level of hyperbole here. Come on now. It's not.
Is it closer from going from SD to HD when that happened?
Yes, I would say that's probably more that Phil should have said that instead.
Well, that's what I think too.
Monumental. He used the word monumental leap from 2D to 3D. I don't see that with this. I could be wrong, but I don't see it.
I just see everybody getting a chance to see their games completely.
Like Enrique, do you not want to see it? Because it might hurt your little PC feeling.
Well, no, because
no. I'm going to be ahead of the game. I'm not even worried about that.
His little PC feelings. Emphasis.
I have never seen so disrespectful. I like it though. I like it. I think you need to continue, but it's just man,
been isolated too long.
Another side.
Enrique got to be brought down a peg, man. Started gaming on PC right before the pandemic. Yeah.
Acting up, man. Acting up.
He in his bag, man.
I got my PC at the right time. That's all I got to say. I got it at the right time.
But I just feel like anybody that sits here and says that they talk about their PC experience and how it's game changing, and how the games just look and they're like completely different games. That basically is telling me that you are blown away by what you are seeing on PC versus what you were seeing on console.
But there are levels to this, Forte.
No, there is. I don't think it's the 2D to 3D. That's what I said. I don't agree with the whole 2D to 3D, but that whole HD to SSD to HD, I think that is definitely in the play, because when I play,
I can see that.
When you play Destiny on console and you go to PC, you feel like it's a completely different game. And that's what those games felt like when you went from SD to HD. The games played completely different to you. So I think maybe he picked the wrong type of words to use, and I think, and you know, most of the time, it's just like the whole 4K on the box, even though in the game the system doesn't run everything in 4K.
Use the wrong words. We know what he was doing.
Yeah, well, we definitely know what he was using because you know most people don't. Because guess what? Most people don't listen to what people say. All they do is take the one buzzword they hear and then they just run with it. They say, "Oh yeah, the next Xbox is going to be incredible because it's going to be game change. We're going to get better graphics than we had in 2D, 3D." They don't even know that he's not even really probably talking about graphics.
Yeah, it's got that new acronym.
Miles didn't come out and say graphics. He just said he said overall better experience. And I'm like, oh Lord, come on, man. Oh, man.
I mean, you guys talk to them competitive gamers, they will tell you that reducing latency in the feel of the game, that's like vital, man. And
absolutely.
It's the reason it's a 1 millisecond response monitor.
Yeah, that's what I have. I got a
right, and
that's my monitor. 1 millisecond.
That's the other part of it. Like your HD TV isn't getting that kind of refresh rate that you're getting from a monitor.
Oh, this LG CX.
But I will,
man.
But
but how much you got to pay for that though, Code?
Exactly.
How much you got to pay for a monitor? Stop crying.
Hey, no, I pay 500. Whoa! False equivalency. No, false equivalency. No. Yo, that's not even the same price, Code.
Cut bullshit.
Look, man,
we're not gonna let you get away with that. Foreign filth, Code.
Hard work pays off
for the same value. No. We gonna have this. We're gonna have this said. All this talk, these console gamers saying, "Well, how much did you have to pay for your PC to get that?" Well, bitch, how much you had to pay for your HD TV to get the same thing? I get on a $400 monitor.
First, the monitor that I want don't cost no $400. Like, let's just be clear.
Oh, okay. How much does yours cost? I guarantee you, it don't cost more than a LG C9, C7, B8, whatever the hell it's called.
CX. Get it right, boy.
Okay. How much is it?
Oh, it's like around 5 stacks.
Exactly.
5 stacks.
Wait, hold up. What?
But my PC and monitor combo is more than it.
Okay, all right. Look, you talking some other nonsense. I could get a $500. I could get a $400.
Did I not tell you that this dude was a wordsmith? Like, come on.
Listen, man, that man is ready to watch movies in high fidelity at his house at $35 a pop when they start selling them.
Wow,
no, sir. Future. You can get HDR on a monitor and it still be under $600. Come on now.
Oh, that new LG.
Ain't nobody saying what you can and couldn't do. I mean, I could go get me an apartment in the ghetto. We ain't talking about like Lucas said, look here, man, I ain't getting no younger. Like, I've worked hard and I am enjoying the things that I have worked for, and my gaming experiences have to be top notch. Me and Forte, when this 3080 drop, we gonna build us some new PCs, 3080 Ti's. We gonna have it all lit up. We get new monitors, all of that, but it's just not yet. So in the meantime, these consoles is where it's at, and I'm gonna need you to stop disrespecting Slow-mo.
All I needed to do was
take that L that Luca gave.
Hey, I ain't taking no.
All I needed to do was see those. All I need to do was see that freaking benchmark for Gears Tactics and tell me I'm upgrading my PC as soon as possible. That's it.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, guys, I gotta get the super chat. Elemento PO, thank you again, sir, with the $1.90 super chat. Says Phil refers to DLI making playing 3D feel like 2D.
I don't think that's what he said.
No, that's not what he said. But I will say this. I will give people some type of outrage on when it comes to game changing in your mind, it means something different to everybody. To me, game changing for me was getting a ultra wide monitor and playing on a 1 millisecond refresh rate at 144 frames per second. That's game changing to me. That's why
sexy.
I said when a new.
That's game changing to everybody.
Well, yeah, dude, it's like when I that's why I kept saying when I kept looking at those articles of Nvidia and AMD trying to get Xbox to support ultra wide gaming, I'm like, dude, because that's game changing to me. But to some other people, some other stuff may not be a big point of emphasis for them. But I think for Phil Spencer, it might be for him the things he's talking about. That might be something that is really game changing to him. But also on top of also on top of that, he is still trying to sell a system.
Right.
So
that's all it is.
It is a bias. It is a
Don't try to help
bias.
him.
But for a lot of people, out there, some of the stuff that is going to be on this new system that never got a chance to experience some of this stuff that they're going to see when it does come out, it will be game changing to them. It may not be on the same level as some other stuff for other people, but it might be.
I agree with what you said. I agree with the panel as well. Phil was doing his job, which is creating interest in the products that he's selling. I do personally think it will be game changing. I honestly do, but I think he didn't say it because it will be game changing. I think he said it because he's doing his job, and that's just going to always be that bias against him. Because even if he's telling the truth, his position demands that he does things in the best interest of the brand. And somebody like Digital Foundry said, or Slow Mo will admit, okay, this is better than anything I got on my PC. Then it just has more weight.
Slow-mo will never.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey guys,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, hey, I gotta get the super chat real quick. Eagles fan 76, thank you, sir, with the $5 super chat. Says for console player playing games at higher than 60 frames per second, 90 to 120 frames per second is that 2D to 3D experience for people that get the right TV.
Look, man,
I don't disagree with that, although I think above 90 is going to probably be hard for most people to see. There's a small percentage of people that can actually tell above 90.
Yeah.
Except for me.
Hard. No, you're a freaking liar.
PC gamer for 5
Only
minutes.
time I see.
Wait a minute, Luca. I've been a PC gamer longer than Slow-Mo, your son Slow-Mo. I got my PC before he did.
3 weeks.
Yes, 3 weeks, sir. Yes, 3 weeks matters.
Come on,
Let's just hope that they really, dig down and try to go after that 60 frames mark and not that in between 120. Because the one thing you will notice is frame pace could be all over the freaking place, and you will notice your frame rate going up and down like a roller coaster. I just want them to just focus on a number and just
lock it in.
Get it at that number. Lock it
well,
at 60.
They're gonna focus on visuals, man. That's what it's gonna be about.
And that's why 60 needs to be the focus and not 120 FPS.
Yeah.
I would love it though, but
yeah, you can sell pixels and stuff like that to people over frames.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
Ray tracing is going to be the talk of the town for the first 3 years, man. That's all.
Yeah,
that's all we're going to hear about.
Yep. Yeah, it's true, man.
Something that's going to tank your frame rate. Hopefully not on console though.
I wonder what Enrique looked like ray traced, man, because he's falling short in real life.
Hey, ray tracing makes Cole look like he got Botox. So, I ain't scared of you, Code.
Hey, I think you missed a super chat, bro.
No, I did. I was gonna go to it right now.
Gamer by choice. Gamer choice. Thanks for that $5 super chat, bro. You are all hilarious. Thank you for making my day and talking about gaming in a fun way. You are welcome, sir. I know that most of these podcasts don't talk about gaming. At least we can do it in a way that's going to entertain you guys. Thanks for Cole. Cole's the one that's really carrying us right now. Cole.
No, that's Luca.
Cole and Luca got us all on fire today.
That's Luca.
Make sure you go holler at those people when they're on their own shows and stuff. Cole,
speaking of that, Smooth, why you so quiet, man? You playing the game or something?
Yeah, I was busting somebody's butt in NBA Live, and then my background keeps getting loud, so I never know when to unmute.
NBA Live?
You can still. But no, I was just like, I didn't have, like, you guys were talking about the, I commented on the Lockhart, and then it varied on the whole game, the transition between like 2D, 3D. That's what Phil Spencer's comparing to, like the new updates to the Xbox. Yeah, I didn't really make any big deal of that. That's typical. Like somebody asks him a question and he's just gonna give a standard answer that's gonna like make news for a light news week.
Yeah, it's a good point, man.
That's a really good point. See, that's why
I always find it interesting like I know people do it because it's like as a fan, you get a chance to talk to Phil. That's cool.
Yeah.
I always find it interesting when they ask him those questions. Like he's not gonna come back and say anything. Like
it's gonna be trash.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be average.
I want them to hurry. I want it. It's April 29th, and I want the event supposed to happen. I'm getting kind of ticked off. It reminds me of being January 31st and not knowing when the PlayStation February event was.
Damn.
Well, he said it's coming.
He said it's coming.
Yeah, he did. He said not long too. But kid, why are you still playing NBA Live, man? I have heard you.
That is an amazing question.
It's my go-to game especially when I'm in podcasts, because I don't need to listen to anything. I'm just and it's a game I could play and I'm playing online, so I could play without paying attention to what's going on in the game.
Well, what about 2K? Why not invest in that?
Garbage. I would never get time.
Oh man, you about to make B money, man.
Preach, kid. Preach.
Oh my god, 2K. I don't know how. Oh my god, 2K is criminal.
There's a
they're like, it's funny. They got credit for having making good basketball games, and it slowly but surely got horrible over the year, worse and worse, and people keep buying it. Then some idiot decided to give them the WWE license, and that just went oh
my god,
all the way fucked
that's
up.
abysmal.
I've never seen a game where to the point where I'm a wrestling fan. I played every wrestling game to the point where I couldn't buy wrestling games under 2K. That's how bad it got. And now they're about to release.
I'm with you, Smooth.
Crocodile Hunter wrestling match game. It's like, get
that
out
game
of here,
is
man.
trash. That game looks like trash. Smooth.
I haven't played a wrestling game since since N64 days when THQ was doing WrestleMania 2000.
Those are the best ones.
Yeah, they were the best.
Yeah. Go ahead, B Money. Go ahead, man.
Original Xbox.
Hold on, 14.
No, I was just gonna say that the wrestling game that they have coming out this holiday season or whatever, that just reminds me of the old school arcade games, like the WWE in your house games and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of that whole NBA Jam era. So it's just it's whatever. You know what I mean? The last wrestling game I bought was 2K16, I think. The one with Stone Cold on it. I only bought it because Stone Cold was on there, and then they did the tribute to him or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But they fucked it up because they didn't want to work with Ukes, so Ukes didn't do the last game.
Yeah, Ukes didn't.
Well, B Money, what about this 2K basketball that Smooth saying is trash?
Hey, hold on, real quick, guys. Hold on, real quick.
Man, that's a whole nother
guys, hold on, real quick.
I
got to get a super chat. This one's for you, Slow Mo. You want to read it?
Let me go take a look here. I don't even see what's going on. Here we go. Dizzy $2. Not gonna listen to more slow-mo Frostbite slander. Look, man. I only speak the truth about Frostbite. I'm just trying to educate people on gaming engines and how there are some that are excellent and there are some that are, basically bargain bin trash, and that's what Frostbite is.
Hey, you ain't gonna talk about Frostbite.
No, you ain't gonna talk about
Frostbite like that now.
No, because
you ain't gonna do that.
Just because Frostbite is only supposed to be used on Battlefield games doesn't mean you can talk trash.
Well, look, if it's limited to only being good for one IP, I mean,
that's what it was built for. That's what it was built for.
Y'all should talk to EA about that.
We ain't talking to EA. Dice built that engine.
Dice built that engine, bro. Yeah. Okay, EA didn't build it.
Too bad. Because it's getting used for everything but what it should be used for.
Hey, because that's the best one that EA got.
Exactly.
EA didn't want to pay for no other one. That's because EA too fucking stingy, man. They didn't want to go around and spend no money. That's their fault.
Except for
reap what you sow.
Except for Vincent Pella says
that's why all the other games is bargain bin. Mirror's Edge, fucking Mass Effect, all of them other games is bargain bin. That's exactly why.
These L's tonight, boy.
How am I taking an L? When did I say that was wrong? Shut up, Cole.
All right, real quick, guys. I do want to get to the last topic here because we got like 5 minutes, couple minutes left to show. PlayStation 5 news coming next month. The official PlayStation magazine. In their June issue confirmed that their July issue would reveal games coming to PS5. One of the games is going to be Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Do you guys think this is going to signal the PlayStation 5 reveal if they're talking about PlayStation 5 games. We're finally going to see the damn console. Is Sony going to have? The rumor is that Sony's going to do something next month, but we'll see. It's a rumor. What do you guys think?
We hear this every month. That's what I think.
Yeah, every month. There's nothing new. I just want to know what the color of the system is. So
well, you saw
it's
it's
going
white.
to be right though.
He just don't want it to be white.
That's all. He just don't want it to be white. I was like, it's cool.
What did you say last time, Code? That Forte doesn't like white people or something? Is that what you said?
Yeah, he didn't. He's just crying about the white controller, man.
I'm crying about the white faceplate on the controller.
Yeah, whatever, man.
You can be in your go ahead, be in your feelings. I'm starting to really think you are. I think you are what you say you are right now.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Don't make me come back to you.
Hey, I want to go to our resident the man who's predicted things on this show many occasions, B Money B. What do you think, man? Are we finally going to see the PlayStation 5 in all of its glory?
I told y'all, man, if this nonsense wasn't going on right now, we would have saw it already. I feel like
you think so?
I feel like if once we clear all this nonsense up and they find a good space, I think they're gonna talk about it. I don't know if it'll be early, like in May, but I think it'll probably be by June.
Oh yeah, by June. It has to be by June. If it's not by June, we got a problem.
No, I wouldn't say that at all.
No,
I wouldn't say that at all.
Yeah, how does that affect y'all in retail? Don't y'all need so much lead time?
If it's not out, if we don't have information by June, it's a problem.
Why is it a problem, Forte? Go ahead and expand on that.
Okay, so first of all, they don't just release. It's not like these systems are just going to get shipped from Sony Studios to your house. They got to go to somebody's warehouse and sit in them and make sure that stock gets counted up. They got to make sure that stores get allocated what needs to be pre-ordered for allocation, and that don't just happen overnight. So you got.
It don't take that long though. I work on logistics. It don't take that long.
It don't take that long, but what you're gonna do it? What is gonna be like? What 2-3 weeks?
You could do it. You could do it within 4 weeks.
At least 2 to, like I said, 2 to 3. You gave me an extra week, so 2 to 3 weeks. So if they announce it at the end of June, that means you'll have all of your pre-orders out by the beginning of August. That's why I say if you go any further than the end of June, that's a problem. You can't be going into the middle of September. You still need marketing. You still need to talk about the games. You still got to get people hyped up for the system. And then you also just got to remember, like, what about games that come out for the system? The stuff that's going to release on day one. You got most pre-orders for games happen literally in the last week that a game comes before the game releases. So you got to have a very substantial amount of games for people to be able to pre-order and pick up. So the longer they wait, all
the games that's going to be out day one, 90% of them are going to be already out because they're going to be out on the other consoles.
I agree with that 100%. I just think you're unless this, we already know they're going to be super.
Like this is a strange transition to generations that we're going through right now. Like this is probably the weirdest one, especially because Xbox is releasing their games on multiple consoles. So like they aren't hitting the reset button like Sony is. So all of that, like extra, like, crazy marketing and stuff like that, all that stuff needs to happen. But I don't think people are going to be like super hyped about the marketing going into these next consoles.
So, B Money, you said that if it hadn't been for the current pandemic, that they would have been announced it by now. But don't you think that they announcing it by now would actually help people during the pandemic because it gives them something to be excited about?
No,
or it help.
I think it's
absolutely help them.
I mean,
you want to know why it would help them? I'll tell you right now. Right now, you can't go in any store that's a gaming store, or even Walmart or Best Buy, wherever you want to buy your system from. You can't find the system. If that system,
there's systems in stock. I go to the store like every other day. There's systems at Walmart, Target.
Oh, your Walmart and Target must have just got restocked, or your people might be smart not spending. Your people down there might be smart not spending their money on video game systems, but might be spending it on party supplies. I don't know.
Whoa!
Yeah. People ain't running around buying consoles like that around my neighborhood, and I've been up to multiple stores. So
Because
That's what I'm saying. Like,
because everybody I talk to say systems you can't even. I can look up to like 300-400 miles away from my store, and not a store I see have a system. Now it could be different in your area because those people might be prioritizing different things other than what most people are doing when it comes to systems. That's why gaming is tremendously up as much as it is right now. So if they were to have at least pre-orders out for these systems right now, you can only imagine how many would go they would actually scoop up right now. And it's not even just the pre-orders right now. I think Microsoft wants to get out as soon as possible, because just because you sell the system, the first system, what about that second wave? They're going to want to have something. They're not going to be on discount, but they're going to want to have something for those people in November and December, or like not November, but probably late December, early January. What's that next stock going to look like? Because if you can get as many as you can right for the launch of the system, they're going to want to get some more back out within the next month and a half.
They already said they're going to have limited supply.
but this is what I'm saying. Regardless if they announce that in April or June or August, if people want it, they're gonna go and pre-order regardless. It don't matter how soon they make the announcement. If you want it, you're gonna go get it. It's just like Samsung releases a phone at the beginning of the year and the end of the year, and usually Apple releases one towards the end of the year. When people want the phone, they go get it. It don't matter like when it releases. If you want it, you go get it. That's just like anything else. You know what I mean? Like, if you have the desire to make the purchase, you're going to go get it. It don't matter when it's announced.
Well, they're going to sell. I mean, in your way, they're going to sell out regardless, so it doesn't matter what they do.
Right. It don't matter when they announce it. They can announce it in fucking September. If people want it, they're going to go out there and pre-order and go get it.
Yeah, see, I'm with B on that. Like, they can announce it. I know you guys are saying, like, something to be excited. Yeah, you'd be excited for a moment. It'll be fleeting.
I just think it's all about maximizing and stuff. You know, it is a build up, like a month build up. I just think once you get to a certain point, you just start losing. I don't know, man. It's weird. This whole situation is weird right now. I just think the whole traditional model of build up is what most people are thinking about. I mean, I know that's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about what that build up was in order to get people excited.
But if you just look at the trends of gaming right now, how much build up is it to most big games that are released? They don't even have a large build up anymore because
the games are
the marketing. It's the same thing for anything.
No,
anything that has to do with tech, the marketing is not this long drawn out thing that it used to be.
Well,
it's usually a 6-week marketing plan, and then they go into release.
Well, let me ask you this: when I mean the build up has more to do with just the system, about the things you attach with that system. How many people? Who would you agree that the biggest time, the heaviest time people actually buy accessories for their system is when? Do they buy it after the fact, or do they buy it with it? Do they buy more things with their system the day they get it, or do they buy more? I mean, of course, over the course of having the system, they buy more games, of course, over that time. But when it comes to those main purchases like extra controls, headsets, and stuff like that, do you think people buy all that stuff day one most of the time, or do they wait and parse it out over time?
Every release that I've been at, most people buy the console and usually 2 games.
Okay.
Most people don't buy accessories. They usually wait until after they get the console.
That has not been my experience.
That has definitely not been my experience. And I'll give you most people. Now, there are more people that walk out with just the system and game, but there is a huge majority of people that walk out with extra stuff, especially like extra controllers.
A controller, yeah.
And the reason I say the earlier you get this out there, the better. That's because those people have enough time to actually save that money up. They know what they're.
But this is the thing though. Like people, like this is not something new. This is not like gaming is not new. Like we know we know the basis of what a controller is going to cost. It's at least going to be $60. It's going to be $60 or more. The game is going to be $60 or more. The console is going to be $400 or more. Like this thing where like people like, oh, I gotta plan out like what I'm saving up for. Like we know what the fuck we get into. Like we are gamers. This is not a cheap hobby. But anybody who buys a console,
the market be money. What about the casuals? You think they on that same level?
You are coming
so the casual doesn't pay $60 for a controller when they go buy one.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying, do you think that they have that same amount of awareness that we do?
No.
But I'm asking, does a casual pay $60 for a controller when they go buy one? Yes or no?
They do, but
they
do
have
they
to pay the same price as everybody
you
else.
know what? They
Exactly.
do. They do, but you know what
Exactly.
the question is? How many times do I have people coming in there saying, "How much is a controller? $60." I'm like, dude, it's like 10 years later. The fucking controller's always been $60, and people still don't grasp that conscience that a controller in a game is $60.
But you know
that's just the reason that I keep talking about. But you're ultimately
the casuals
right.
aren't early adapters though. They're not going to go out day one and buy these consoles. That's not happening.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, we know that the first 6 months of the console is probably going to sell what, 6-7 million.
Yeah, they're saying 7.5.
They hope so.
Yeah, they hope so.
But I mean, that's just for both of them though. You know what I mean? Either one of them going to sell about 6 or 7 million. They usually sell like $1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million within that first couple of months. That's all the hardcore people. All the hardcore people who went out there and bought a console, they know what they're getting into.
Okay.
This is not something new. Like you just bought either Xbox, the original one, or you got an S, or you got an X, or you got a PS4 or PS4 Pro. Been buying controllers, been fucking buying games for 7 years. If you excited about getting a new console, you know what you're getting into.
Right.
Like there's not a whole I work with a whole bunch of gamers at my job. Every one of them is probably not on the level that I'm at. Most of them are casual gamers. They are somewhat excited about new consoles coming out. That's the extent of it. They see whatever
marketing can increase that none.
I mean, marketing can increase everything. You know what I mean? It can make people more excited. Like, woo, yes, it's coming out. But that doesn't change the fact that they're going to go out there and go buy it day one.
So it seemed like you saying with or without marketing, they going to be straight. They can do extra marketing if they want it to help the cause. But for all intents and purposes, for these first couple of rounds, people going to buy just on the strength of the brand and because we game it.
Correct. You're gonna find a handful of people that will get excited about marketing and go buy something. That's about it. You could just look at any tech trend, anything that's in tech, whether it's headphones, whether it's phones, whether it's speakers, whatever you want to look at in tech. It all boils down to the same thing. The people who are interested in it are going to be the ones who go buy it.
Y'all think at this point, console gamers at the beginning of a new generation?
I actually have to go. I'll catch you guys later.
Oh, bye, Luca.
All right, Luca.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming through.
Of course, bye.
All right, see you.
So y'all think those are earlier adopters?
Hey guys, real quick, I got to get this super chat from Elemento Pino with the $1.99 super chat. Thank you again, sir. Says FYI, Ultimate is $1. Xbox Game Pass is really $9.99. #facts. Thank you for the super chat, sir. Go ahead, Code.
Well, no, I was just asking. Y'all think the early adopters are people who buy the consoles at the beginning of a generation? Casuals don't buy consoles at the beginning.
Yeah, most of the people that are early adopters are hardcore gamers
for consoles.
For consoles, okay. Yeah. I think we even talked about this with Matt when we had him on from MPD. But yeah, that tends to be the demographic that the early adopters are the hardcore. You know, it used to be that magic number where casuals was $2.99, but that's not the case anymore. You know,
interesting.
Yeah,
and you'll get huge bunches of sales from casuals when you do like those flash sales or like Black Friday around the holiday time period, when every now and then you'll have a bundle that has it's the same price as it usually is, but then you bundled in a game that everyone is interested in, or in case of these kids that are casuals, you bundled in some Fortnite money or whatever currency you get with Fortnite, and then that kind of gives them extra incentive to pick up that particular SKU. That's kind of where it comes from. But yeah, first adopters are going to be the hardcore audience. The people.
Quick question for you guys: do you guys even who's working in retail here? Do you guys got any marketing material for these consoles yet, or no?
That'll be Forte.
Nothing for the systems yet, sir. They didn't send anything. All they gave us was a outline of what the system was going to have in it and stuff like that. But outside of anything else, the public will probably know before we know at retail.
Wow.
Wow.
I mean,
That's
of
like
course,
being in
of
the
course,
league.
corporate.
That's usually how it goes.
Yeah, that's usually how I always tell people that. I was like, dude, they say, well, y'all know anything about the new PS5? It's like, dude, you'll know before we know. The funny thing is, corporate already knows this information. I already have it on good thread that most of those people already know when the decisions on the systems being released and pre-order are going to be done because they already have SKUs usually in the system in order to make it so it's an easy transition to start pre-ordering it. So they have an idea, but at retail, at the store level, customers will know before we know. We'll literally get a message on the day that they announce it, and like an hour later, they'll send us a message saying, hey, these are the SKUs. You can start pre-ordering. Your store probably got 15 or 20 systems to pre-order for the first week, and then you go from there. But you will know here on Twitter before we will know at retail.
Yeah, that sounds like them NBA players. They find out they get traded on for ESPN. They'd be all over SportsCenter before they know. Yeah.
Yeah, the public always knows first, especially if you're one of those informed people. You will literally get that news anybody else will get.
All right, guys, we got another $2 super chat. Victor Alstein says, so what's the purpose of Lockhart at launch? We don't know. Well, Code doesn't know. I know what it is. Cheaper option. It's just an option, that's all. Simple as that. Just an option.
Yeah, I mean, again, if the One X is no longer being sold, the Lockhart does make sense. My thing was I just don't understand both of them together at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. Who knows? We'll find out soon. We'll find out soon enough, Code, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, y'all have
the Lockhart is for the people who still got the original Xbox and just want that cheaper option to upgrade. All the people who got an X, they ain't buying no damn Lockhart.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen, we need to go ahead and I need to go ahead and wrap up the show, but I want to give a big shout out to the Ash and Luca who joined us this evening, and also big shout out to our first time guest, Kid Smooth. Kid, it was great finally getting you on, Brat, man. Thank you again for coming on and talking video games with us, man. Definitely appreciate it. Please let everyone know where they can find you, sir.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at KidSmooth and on YouTube at KidSmooth, twitch.tv, KidSmooth89. Yeah, follow me if you want to. But thanks for having me on, man. It's been awesome.
No doubt, man. It's been a pleasure, man. We'll have to definitely get you back on Brap again soon. Code, man, thank you again, dude. Always a pleasure having you on, Code. Always appreciate your insights, sir. And man, we gotta, you know what? You gotta hop on some Warzone, Code.
Man, y'all will never shoot me and laugh.
Code, like I'm perfectly fine in single player land.
Man, over here living ghetto fabulous.
Code. Hey, Code, I like what you did with the gaming room, man.
Oh, man, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'm still
awesome,
not
man.
done. I'm almost done. Then, yeah, I'll put some more pics up.
Yeah, I got some LED lights I got to put up. I bought some, put behind the TV set. So
yeah, man.
Compliment the my RGB lights in my PC. You know what I mean? So, but Code, always a pleasure, man. And big shout out to Slow-Mo Backslap, Gaming Forte, Eric Jackson, B Money. Actually, you know what, Slow-Mo, why don't you go ahead, plug your YouTube channel, sir?
Oh yeah, definitely hit up my YouTube channel. I actually just dropped the video, and I wasn't working on it while we were podcasting the way Smooth was playing live, but it was just kind of I just finished up the thumbnail. But yeah, it's on Deliver Us the Moon. It's a game that was currently in PC and Xbox Game Pass. Came out October last year. Pretty good game. Nice little short experience. I would say like a palate cleanser to kind of the games that I usually play, but I enjoyed it. Thought it was pretty cool. Check out the video if you like it.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna check it out for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, that's it. That's all I'm working on right now. I am playing Gears Tactics, but I haven't got enough hours in it for me to really do an impressions video yet, but that's coming soon too.
No doubt, man. All right,
Just
Forte.
go ahead and make sure Slow Mo go ahead and get credit for taking those L's like a man tonight because Luca was giving him.
Wow.
What L's did I take?
Let's move on.
I am you.
All
Wow.
right, we'll talk about this all. Forte, did he take L's today? And please plug your channel, Forte.
Did he take L's today?
Yes.
Which person? Slow Mo?
Slow Mo. Yeah.
Slow Mo. I'm gonna give Slow Mo a pass today. You know, he fought really hard. Cole had his number a couple of times. You know, he made sure he boxed him in the corner. He wouldn't let him out. You know, he like Rocky trying to fight a fight that she was up there. You can't win, and Slow-Mo kept trying to win. But you know, Slow-Mo fought back, so I'll give him a amen for that. But dude, it was a great show. Appreciate everybody that came through. Gaming Forte everywhere, YouTube, Twitter. Check us out there. Get back to playing this Gears Tactics. I'm loving it. It's really, really cool. Wish it was on Xbox, but it will probably make it there sooner or later. And if you guys haven't played Catherine full body on the PlayStation 4, that game's freaking amazing. I played the original Catherine. I'm halfway through the second playthrough of that game, so that's pretty much all I've been doing over the last couple of days.
Yo, what is that? What is that game again? Because like I've seen so much talk about that game, and it looked kind of like weebish, and I was like, let me kind of stay away from that.
It's cool. It's like it's like a love affair, like ex-girlfriend, and you cheating on her in your mind and all this other stuff. And there's another girl with a Catherine with a K, the other with a Catherine with a C. And then in the full body version, they have a third girl that's in it, and it spices it up even more than the original one was. But you literally have nightmares when you're asleep. You're running from like all types of demons and stuff, trying to build like puzzles and stuff. It's a puzzle game, but it's like building blocks and stuff. It's really, really cool. You should try it.
I think you might like it, Slow Mo.
It's only it's only like 11 to 12 hour game, but dude, the story is pretty trippy. And,
is it only on PlayStation?
Yes.
Was it on? It's on PlayStation?
Yeah, it's made by Atlas. Yeah, I got the.
You can play the original.
Atlas that made Persona 5?
Yes.
Yes. Really?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Then
you can play the original back compat on Xbox, I believe.
The original's on back compat. Yeah, the original's on back compat. It's the same game as the original. All they did is add more story elements, and they added a third girl to the equation of the new game.
Yeah.
Is it an easy plat? Because my score is so low right now.
You have to beat it a couple of times to get the plat, but it's not a hard game to plat. But that game wasn't phenomenal. Played through it on PS3. As soon as they released this version, I just waited for the full body to go on sale, and I just picked that up recently. So I'm super excited to go through that game again. So yeah, Slow, you should definitely try it, because if you like Atlas games, this game is up your alley.
Yeah, I got the steel case book. Yeah, I got the steel case book for it. It's pretty badass.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. E. Jackson, let me know where they can find you, sir.
Yeah, when I'm not here with you, gentlemen, you can find me
right near the beach.
Staying away from the beach. You can find me on the Gaming Perspective on Saturday nights at 8:00. And other than that, just around Twitter, EC Jackson with an X.
Right,
that's actually a really good podcast. You guys deserve more views than it's currently getting. I enjoyed listening to it the last 2 or 3 weeks I've been listening.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you coming through too, man.
Yep.
Yeah, please everyone in the live chat, check out Gaming Perspective podcast on Saturdays. It's actually a really great show, so make sure you check them out. B Money, let everyone know they can find you, good sir.
You can just find me here every Wednesday night and on Twitter at BMoney101.
Awesome. All right.
Money be holding it down too.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, but hey, shout out to everyone in the live chat. Love the support this evening. Really appreciate it, guys. Hit that like button. And if you're new to the podcast, please subscribe, hit that bell notification so you know when we go live. And what a great show. Had a blast tonight. Big shout outs again to the Ash and Luca and the Kids Move for hanging out with us tonight. On that note, guys, if you didn't get a chance to, check out Saturday's Digital Foundry podcast. We had John Linneman on from Digital Foundry talking about next-gen consoles and gaming. Great show. Had a blast talking to him. But other than that, we'll see you guys next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please, everyone, stay safe and play some video games. More importantly, have fun doing so. See you then. Peace.